Welcome back to Moaning About Destiny.
No, it's Cat Life Destiny this week.
Cat Life Destiny, perfect. Tobin Destiny Edition. Love it.
We'll review everything there is to review about all the Cat Eververse items.
We got this.
Yeah. I'll be with you guys in a minute. Just...
Call is important to you. It will be answered in the order it was received.
Your podcast is important to us. So, how about Destiny?
Yeah. So speaking of things that are going really well and not problematic at all, and everything's great, welcome back to Destiny 2. The game where everyone's having a good time and no one's upset about anything.
No. Why would anyone be upset with Destiny anyway?
I don't know. I can think of no reason.
No. Well, we have you back. We have a guest.
We do.
So we need to roll those titles to get to the show. So we'll do that. And then we can come back and talk about Destiny.
I suppose we shall.
Welcome to the Two Titans and a Hunter Destiny 2 podcast, a show dedicated to bringing you the latest intel, the mightiest news, and the boldest opinions from the farthest reaches of the Sol system. Whether you're a bright-eyed new Guardian, fresh from the Cosmodrome, or a battle-hardened veteran of the Red War, this is your Destiny destination. We'll arm you with tips, tricks, and tower-worthy tools to help you triumph, thrive, and revel in the glory of the fight. So, without further ado, let's get on with the show.
Deep breath. We're back. We're here. We've been revealed. They've showed us things. We've played things.
We have played. Yeah.
Are you all also covered in ash and iron, or just a little bit of ash, and you're waiting for the iron to come next week? I'm unclear.
Yeah.
I'm unclear how much iron is involved at this point.
I'm currently ashy because I'm doing a reclaim activity right at the moment, and it's very ashy.
So yeah, welcome to the show. We have Peroty back, and we have a guest of RenardCollant. He's here.
Hello. And I got the
myth, the legend.
And I got the R's.
You did. You're always entitled to the R's. That's what they're there for. And you're here for Destiny talk.
And as I said earlier, I'm here to talk all about cat things in Destiny.
No. Just Destiny.
He has come with an hour-long review of every cat cosmetic in Destiny. So sit back and enjoy a detailed deep dive into every Tobin ship, shader.
I'll do you a deal. If you've got a video to go along with it that we can put to YouTube, have at it. You can talk about the cats and describe what we're seeing on screen. If not, then no.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't have it, but I did see a TikTok yesterday of someone, because you can see your ship in the reclaim activity, and they have the cat ship, and they were like, my ship has Tobins. I had no idea. I had never seen it from this angle before. They were just like running all around it. It's like I've never actually been able to see the ship from all angles. And I really like that you can see the ship in the reclaim activity. I think that's a really nice touch.
Mm.
Nothing to do with the gameplay, but just fun to be able to actually get up close and see this thing that we spend a lot of time in, but you never really see up close or from all the different angles.
Yeah, I've got the X-Wing on, pre-order X-Wing on right now, and it feels very weird to be in the Cosmodrome or the Plaguelands and just have this X-Wing, there.
No, there's nothing wrong about having an X-Wing. And can I tell you, if you have the Suros Modular shader, then it looks perfect. Go and find it. It's a really old one. You have to go right to the end of your shaders if you've got it. Suros Modular. It looks perfect. It looks like Luke's X-Wing. You won't be disappointed.
Suros Modular. So what I'm hearing is go into my loadout that I was required to build with this ship by you and Blue the other day and find the Suros Modular shader to apply to it. Because
Yes.
I'm not flipping through the 9,000 pages of shaders.
There
There
was another shader, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. I will have a look while we kind of chat about other things, and we can come back to it. But yes, just that was a nice surprise. You know, oh, if you've pre-ordered or you're going to pre-order the expansion for Renegades, you get an X-wing. You have a TIE fighter, you now have an X-wing. Now the TIE fighter, I didn't put any shaders on, but the X-wing, it kind of requires a shader because it's like, I know that it's not Star Wars, and they don't want to kind of. It is Star Wars, let's face it, you know, at the end of the day. But the colours that they've given it are very faded. And I was like, that doesn't look like Luke's X-Wing. It doesn't even look like Poe Dameron's X-Wing. And I think we found a shader for Poe Dameron's X-Wing as well, as we were kind of looking through our different shaders. Me and Blue spent, I want to say, about half an hour. We went to the tower, we picked up our X-Wings, and we stood going through different shaders and going, oh, this one looks good. Oh, this one looks good. Oh, no, this one looks like Poe Dameron's. Oh, no, this one looks like Luke Skywalker's. And we were just going through, and then you said you had one which was the colours of something else, didn't you, when you actually joined us?
I just slapped on the offset one, you know, the one that makes you look like a, you know, comic book, because I figure you can't go wrong with that shader. I was like, I'll make it a comic book because I was told I had to join with a specific stasis loadout. And I needed to have the X-Wing with a proper shader on, which I hadn't gone to the tower and pick up yet because I hadn't cleared the tower of the random Vex that were there. And I forgot
the wrong tower. Yes, you went to the wrong tower.
I forgot you could just go to a different multiverse tower that didn't have Vex in to then visit the shops. I was just like, oh, it's there. The tower is taken over by Vex. Apparently, I need to go clear out for reasons, and everyone's gone.
Opportunity to have a flannel X-Wing.
I think I tried the flannel. I don't know. There's not enough fabric. We need more fabric in this game to make good flannel and good pajamas with. That's the Titan's biggest problem. Not enough fabric. More fabric. More flowy robes. More things I can style. So yeah, the Suros Modular, not the Suros Modular Shine, because there's two of them apparently.
There is, yeah.
Does the shiny one look better, or did you test both Suroses?
I think I did test both. As I said, I went through and we tested quite a few different shaders, and it was like, okay, so I don't even know if I can't even get my controller working. I don't know how to right click on my Mac. How do I right click on the Mac?
Control click.
Control click.
Or two fingers on the trackpad should also do it.
I don't know what I've done now. Oh, two fingers. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, two finger on that trackpad at the same time should do it for you. And yeah, it is also control or command, or there's a keyboard one as well.
Yeah, the Suros Modular Shine is a darker red, and I've now just put it on by accident. Right, yeah.
Oh, well, now I've ruined it.
You've ruined it now because I've now got to go back through and find the Suros Modular, which is right at the end of the track. But I did find another one that was very similar, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. And this is really making good podcasting kind of.
Oh, it's phenomenal radio. Did you by chance do any of this on one of the days you streamed this week? So there's video of you trying on all these shaders. You could put behind us talking right now of you playing dress up with your X-Wing. Your X-Wing, but not an X-Wing. Your very similar but legally distinct vehicle from an X-Wing. the Renegade leadership. Yes. If you too think you have a prettier shader, write into us. Let us know. Leave us a comment. How have you styled your X-Wing?
Look, this
Renegade leadership.
This is important to the show. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Destiny is the end game, because let's be honest, that's all we've got right now.
No, we do have other stuff.
Nope, just Destiny.
The other one that I found was Anyone's Game from Guardian Games. So that one has the orange or orangey red detail on it, but it also has kind of yellow extra stickery bits on it. So it reminds me of my original X-Wing that I had when I was younger from like 1980s. So it looks very similar to that, with like a little bit of battle damage and a bit of yellow stickers on there as well. So that one's pretty cool.
So Anyone's Game or Suros Shine. Now, do you pick a side or
Suros Modular?
Suros Modular, sorry, right? The Modular, not the Shine. So Suros Modular, anyone's game. Now is this a Jedi or Sith decision you're making between these two, or do they just look thematically excellent no matter what? Would one need to choose a shader to declare their allegiance, or are those just the two
just wearing the ship? I think declares your allegiance.
Approved ships and shaders.
Yeah.
So Renard, how's it going? How are things? How are the Plaguelands?
The Plaguelands are plaguey. I kind of don't like the fact that they got rid of the lava. You don't die to it.
Yeah.
That was part of the, I don't know, charm of it. I haven't gotten to a point where it's much more explorable outside of the missions and stuff, which, I don't know, I guess I would have liked to have happen. I kind of wanted to see if where Archon's Forge was still in the game, because I have a lot of fond memories of Archon's Forge.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently people have found some things going out of bounds about Rage, which we will not mention for fear of the wrath of everyone's machines rising up and demanding things return to the game that are not coming back.
That is the ultimate break glass in case of emergency for Bungie.
No, that's emergency break the glass if you've got the stuff under the glass to break to get to it. But if you haven't got it, then yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't think they've got that under the glass.
Yep. I mean, there's no way to know what's ever going to come back or not come back. They say we're going to do this and then they don't, and they say this is never going to happen and then it does. So let the hope spring. There's always a chance. May not be a good chance, but there's always a chance.
Hey, we got my boy Crota back. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Well, your boy Croce has been back many a times.
I mean, as the raid. So
has he ever really?
Oh yeah. I mean, before the raid, he'd been back a couple of times as well. So there's stuff on the moon. Just rising up.
But when they announced Crota, the raid was coming back, I honestly thought they would dungeon it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought, oh, is that going to be a dungeon?
Yeah, it would fit very nicely into a dungeon at this point, but that would involve extra tweaking.
Yeah. So the other approved shaders for your Renegade leader, we've got Crucible Peppermint, which is another kind of red and white shader for it. But if you want to kind of look a bit like Poe Dameron's X-Wing with the orange and black, we've got Aposematism, which is a new shader that's only just come out recently. And that gives you a complete kind of black X-Wing with orange weapons and orange jump jets. Or if you want to go completely black with just only a few highlights, we've got Boreal Char, which also comes up in the Eververse for 300 bright dust every now and then.
Will you be throwing those in the show notes?
I can write it in the show notes.
Cool.
I am adding these to the secret Discord Patreon channel, though. Patreon.com/TTH. I'm trying to figure out how to spell Aposematism. And what was the last one?
It was Boreal Char. So BOREAL CHAR.
Oh, I have that one favorited.
There you go. See?
There we go.
Yeah,
Demon approved.
I would tell you some more. We could go through the whole thing. I could make a video of which shaders look really cool on it, and then you could just decide which ones you like. But the batteries in my controller have now run out, and I'm like, I swear I put you on charge all night. So that's me out. That's me out. I can't tell you anymore.
I mean, I really think you should do a full review of all the possible shader combinations.
I did actually think about that. I thought, shall I just sit there and make a video going through all the different shaders?
Here are all the shaders I have, all 100 and whatever at this point.
Yeah. Oh dear. So yeah, Plaguelands are back.
Yeah.
We've got an Ash and Iron major update. We saw some Renegades this week, which is really exciting for Star Wars. Some Star Wars fans I've heard don't really like it, but others like it. So should we start with the reveal? Did we all watch the reveal and
yes,
catch up on the reveal at some point, Peroty?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was back. I watched the Destiny reveal and I watched the Apple reveal just back to back. It was a reveal filled day.
Ah, were you were you satisfied with your reveals though?
I was. I mean, I think I somehow just sort of missed Ash and Iron. I was thinking of Ash and Iron as just like a smaller update, not a major update. This is changing. Like I was a little caught off guard by the whole brand new seasonal pass and a new exotic. I was thinking it was more of a minor update of like, hey, we're gonna fix all the things that we've broken up till this point. But
Yeah,
it was just like, oh, a brand new exotic. Okay, a whole new bar to fill. Great, wonderful. I couldn't tell you if I filled the last one. I feel like I did, but I don't really remember. It sort of caught me off guard that like, hey, it's a whole new thing. It's a whole new major update. Great. I'm still mid 330s, so I'm not anywhere near the pinnacle of anything. So I've still got plenty of stuff to do and play. Yeah, so I was pleased to get a new activity that I could jump into and not have any clue what I was doing. Still dismayed that it was not all match made, and I could pick from one of 3 things to do, and the other 2 I would have to go find people for. But yeah, no, I mean the real reveal was good. They really leaned heavily on, hey, here's Renegades, which is like, hey, Star Wars things. It was weird in a way seeing, very much a Destiny game, very much a Destiny POV, but it's almost as if we had, left our universe and traveled to a star system far, far away, and we're seeing Star Wars vehicles and Empire units and things. It was very strange to see very much a Destiny POV, Destiny weapons, Destiny HUD, Destiny everything.
Yeah,
but then legally distinct lightsabers and walkers and things like that. It was strange, and I don't know. I mean, I'm going to play it. I'm going to enjoy it. That's what I do. But it was strange to sort of go, it's very much this game, but we've added, it was almost Fortnite-y in a way, in that you don't seem like you belong here, but yet here we are, and we're just all sort of together fighting the forces of darkness. Yeah, we'll see. I'm after the Ash and Iron update and what we have in the game, I'm curious to see what else Renegades is going to bring us and what state it's going to be in when it gets here. Yeah. But I mean, Bungie has always been good for a reveal and good for a Vidoc. Like they have, if nothing else, skyboxes and reveals and hype building is what they do best. We'll have to see if the delivery lives up to what we saw on Tuesday.
Well, I think I was talking with Blue yesterday about this. Like the Ash and Iron major update, I think they named it wrong. I think that's the problem, is that when they broke down the timeline for what we were going to get with the way Destiny was going forward past the final shape, and it was, you're going to get a major expansion, and then we're going to split the seasons into 4 rather than having 6. So it's going to be longer. And each season you're going to have your first one, which was of Reclamation, and then that moves into Ash and Iron. All it is basically saying that we're going to timegate stuff, and the season that you got with the Edge of Fate is just going to be longer. I think that's what they should have really, or realistically, said to the player base, because the player base took it out of context of like, it's going to be a major update, we're going to get this, we're going to get that, are we going to get this, are we going to get that? And it's literally the Plaguelands, 3 reclaim missions, a few more things in the portal. They've tweaked a few things, they've messed up with a few things, a bit like they do with like a mid-season update kind of thing. Well, we've added a few things, we're going to add an exotic mission at some point. It just, I think that's it. It was kind of, now we're here, we can actually see what it is that we're going to be getting, like in these 2 kind of seasons. Because let's face it, we got the season of Reclamation to start off with, and it's going to be Reclamation and Renegades, or I can't even remember the name of the 2 different. Is it the
like Lawless is one of the seasonal names, and I honestly couldn't tell you which one. But yeah, like the season names just feel meaningless if they're going to be also tied in with the major updates. Like, what do I care what the season is called? Yeah, it's part of this update. It's blur that lines between like update and season even more.
Well, I think one of the problems is there really wasn't a season Reclamation. They should have been, I think, a little more forthright that the first 3 months, first 3-4 months is all quality of life stuff. It's all the new systems. There was no seasonal story. There was no, anything outside of the, what was done for the Edge of Fate. And I think that was the start of a lot of Sturm und Drang, to be a little punny for the community. There was I remember when I got done with the campaign and the side quests, and I was like, okay, let's start the season, and then I couldn't find anything, and and I think that was sort of started the sour taste in everybody's mouth.
See, if you go back and look at the Year of Prophecy, which was kind of the roadmap picture that they kind of gave us, we had Destiny 2, The Edge of Fate, and that was season Reclamation. And Reclamation runs from the beginning of The Edge of Fate up until the Lawless part of it, which is Destiny 2 Renegades. And they've kind of given them their own kind of two headers. So Destiny 2, The Edge of Fate is literally the expansion. And the season is kind of just the little bits that we kind of get in between, any kind of portal updates, any major updates to like the exotics and changes within the game that they kind of buffs and nerfs that they did. We get a reward pass at the beginning of the Edge of Fate, and then we get another one with Ash and Iron. So, and calling it a major update, I think in their eyes it's a major update, but for us, it's a very minor tweak to what we've currently got. And what is confusing is that the Reclamation season, even the season pass, cuts off, and like you said, it restarts, and we've got another 110 to kind of go. And you can now access it. I tried to access the beginning part of the season Reclamation pass on the Bungie.net at the beginning of the week because I'd left a few things on there. Couldn't gain access to it. It only had the Ash and Iron update season pass on there. And I couldn't get to the stuff that I'd left on the pass. You can now do that because I thought that's going to be an issue. A lot of people are going to complain about that. So yeah, I mean, it does say on there, you get a reward pass at the beginning and you get the reward pass on September 9th. With the expansion, we've got new story, new location, which we did get, new missions, which we did get. We got new weapons, new gear. We got the new raid, and the new dungeon is coming in brackets in Renegade. So it's major updates. It says new and reprised activities, new sandbox meta, new events, new modifiers and challenges, new gear and artifact mods. So they did tell us what the major update is going to be. In nowhere on that picture does it say you're going to be getting another new location to go and explore like we thought we might get with the Plaguelands and anything extra. I think it's probably best for them to kind of tone down major update to seasonal update. Just it wasn't anything big to write home about. It was just other things added to the portal and tweaks and changes to some of the things, and then they're even going to get changed again. I think that's the problem, is that people thought the Edge of Fate is going to run from July through to the next July when we get whatever we get, but it isn't. It's Edge of Fate up until December, and then it's Renegades, and it's a whole new branding, it's Star Wars branding as well with Destiny 2 going from the 2nd of December. And again, 2 reward passes, and then another major update on March 3rd, 2026 with another reward pass. But I don't think it's going to be anything too big. I think Renegades is going to be the big thing because it's an expansion.
Plus,
so the seasons aren't what they used to be. It's seasons we used to get kind of seasonal story. We used to get extra. I mean, we have got data pads. We've got an extra couple of little bits and tidbits about what's actually going to be coming with Renegades in Ash and Iron. But it's not like the seasons that we used to have. It's very much, you've got 2 expansions. Those expansions are broke up into 2 parts. And yeah, we're not kind of doing seasons as seasons anymore.
But I gotta say, this model is not holding me. This, for the first time in years, I didn't complete the seasonal pass.
Yeah.
I made sure I got to 102 so I could get, of course, the cat shader. That was very important to me. And, just slugging out those, 5 ranks per rank. Just there wasn't anything that I could, drag myself into playing to get. And I kind of wonder if there had been a little more of the old style seasonal activities had that not been true. And this is an oldie but a goodie, but craftable season weapons, those had me coming back. I was addicted to those 5 or 6, weapons getting the red borders and then seeing, if I wanted to use anything. I mean, my solar builds, I have a without remorse that I have had strapped on my solar build since, Season of Haunted. And I was a huge collector of the seasonal weapons, and I noticed my playtime has sort of drifted off once they started getting rid of that.
I think we were spoilt with the crafting part of it, because before that, with kind of just getting the random rolls, I think that's what drove people to play over and over again to get a better roll of what they had. And with the crafting, we were kind of spoilt with, well, I just need my 5 red borders, and then I can go and craft the best roll that I can actually get, and I can get in, enhance these perks and things like that. I think they might have been better kind of doing it the other way around, as still have it as random rolls, but give us a kind of currency like they had in Destiny 1, like the Motes of Light, that would empower certain parts of that weapon. And if you got like an adept version, you could then power up other parts of it, like we have now with getting the tier system, but a very basic tier system for what we had back then. And then you haven't then got the FOMO of not getting your red borders that then, and now it's been taken out of the game. And like you said, that's what made you kind of come back. But if it wasn't there in the first place, I think it would have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like, I don't know, I feel like I didn't play that much of this last season, and yet it felt like it went really quickly.
It did, because I think it was shorter than what a kind of typical season would be as well. It was only 8 or 9 weeks.
Yeah, it felt like it was just like a very. I mean, I did go double check on Bungie.net, and I guess I did get to the end of the 110 of the thing. I mean, probably most of that was doing the campaign and just playing and screwing around. But yeah, it was just like it. Yeah, it felt shorter, but just sort of at the same time, like it hasn't really. I feel like I haven't played enough to have finished the season pass. It just, I don't know. It just felt like there just wasn't a lot there, and now I've got new weapons to go chase and look at and figure out what to do with, and I've got vault space to throw things into. Where, I mean, again, like if you've kept everything, I don't know. It's like now you're giving me more weapons to do what with, and yeah, I know there's something happening in Renegades. They've been, I feel like they've been squirrely about saying what exactly they're doing in Renegades. Like they've said we're going to address it, and they have mentioned at least. Thankfully, doing more with like the sorting and the filtering of vault space. I would like to see that with shaders and things too. Just build some stuff into the game to, hey, I've got hundreds of shaders and hundreds of ornaments. Let me sort them. Let me find them. A little bit of improvement there, but I would like them to say, hey, we're going to double your vault space. We're gonna give you unlimited vault space. We're going to do something. If we're going to showering you with loot is fine if you have a place to put the loot. Even now, it's like, I don't know what to do with these weapons I'm getting. Again, like, I've got the vault space, but I'm going, do I even want to keep these? Is it worth keeping these? It's, I don't know. I've never felt more uncertain with what to do with what the game is giving me than I am right now.
And I'll be honest, the game isn't giving us enough. During Solstice, it was a loot explosion. I got so much stuff, and it just seems like they turned on the tap of the loot for Solstice, and everybody loved it. I kept hearing were great things about it, from the community, and now we're back to a trickle, and this is a looter shooter. They're focusing on the shooter part, but I don't think they're focusing on the loot part right now.
I think the thing is, they're relying on these events rather than having the seasons. From looking at the Year of Prophecy, it's more of kind of, we've taken out the seasons, but we're going to give you events in what we're still now calling seasons. But the seasons were their own separate thing that ran alongside the expansion. And I think that's the difference. And I don't think anybody kind of realized that that's what would happen, is that there is no season as we had before. And it's now just kind of down to the events. And the events are the things that kind of every couple of weeks come up and you go, oh, is this one going to be really good? Is this one going to be like Solstice? And they are sort of good. I mean, the one that we've currently got for the Reclaim thing is okay. I'm hoping that Iron Banner next week is going to be just like Solstice. It's just going to be throwing loot at you, and you're going to be able to get tier 4 and tier 5, even if you are sitting at getting only tiers 2s and 3s at the moment.
Right.
There's kind of some kind of pull like we had with Solstice to get people to play. But yeah, it's
does it feel weird that like the Reclaim thing is only up for a week? It's like, hey, Ashen Irons launch, here's your new thing. Play this new activity for a week and then it goes away. Like,
no,
right?
it's just the event part of it. So
I got
to launch it, we've got this week where you get the pass and you get the reward track and things like that. But that's, I mean, it could come back after Iron Banner, but that event is only going to be up for this week. So if you can get that reward track done, you can get all those extra bits, for that.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's going to come back after that. I think it's just to get people interested and excited about playing, that you get all this extra stuff from that reward track.
So if it does come back, what's the point of playing it? If there's not, I guess this is my confusion with it. I'm going, well, it's here, it's got the reward track. That's kind of why you would play it, to get the holofoil weapons and get the the emblem and stuff out of it, if you're interested in that. But then if it just comes back as a thing to do, I mean, I guess it'll at least be another sort of loot. Like, the game desperately needs just like a casual PvE activity of something you can just go into and just hang out with your friends and have a good time with. Like, maybe it could be that. But if it's still going to be in the same system of you've got to rush, you've got to hurry, you've got to do this the most expertly you can, or you're not getting the best loot out of it, what's the difference between playing that in Gambit? Or playing something in the old world tab, going to a planet and just screwing around and shooting things there. I don't know. I mean, the Reclaim is fine. It is funny. Everyone's saying, "Oh, it's just like Overthrow, just like Overthrow." I honestly had to go look up what Overthrow was, and it was like, "Oh, right, the thing on the Pale Heart." Which as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Oh, right," because I forgot what that thing was called. I was like, "That's just the thing you do in the Pale Heart." I forgot it was like its own. I forgot I had a name.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, okay, yeah. I see the similarity, because it is just like the Plagueland. You go here for that. It's the only thing you can do there. There is no, like Renard was saying, it would have been nice to sort of explore and roam around. And I mean, I guess obviously people are finding out about houses and other stuff that's in the world there that isn't necessarily meant to be accessible. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's a fine activity. Like, I've run it now a bunch of times. Like, the loot's decent out of it, but again, coming from the mid 300s, light level, I'm not end game. I'm not moaning my lack of rewards. But I think, like Blue said to you and I the other day when we were doing, I think the fabled strangelet things on Kepler.
Yeah.
He's like, he's basically like, I've done all this. And I basically have gotten nothing, played for an hour or 2 or 3 or however long you all were on for before I joined you. He's like, I played for these couple of hours and basically got nothing at all out of it to help me. Where he's like, I'm happy to do it because I'm happy to play with you guys. I'm having fun playing with you. That's the whole point of this. But he's like, I'm not getting anything for me that's improving anything for me in the game. And it's like, well, that's, again, still a crummy experience, Bungie. And he's, I don't know what he is. I'm assuming 400 by now.
Yeah, he's creeping up to 410 at the moment. But yeah,
Okay.
anything that he's doing with us that are like 320, he's getting like minuscule things. If he does get something, it's a +1 in something. Right. So there's no incentive for him to kind of join us apart from just joining us and having fun. But it's just a weird. Again, it's just still a weird. Like, could we not? Did we not think this through? Did we not think we were going to have people playing a different? It just, again, like, I'm just confused at this point. Where we're and honestly,
the thought that was sort of as I was roaming around LA, I was having thinking about Destiny, because what else do you do? I was having the thought of, obviously, like, all, Ashen Iron was done. Ashen Iron was big, done, release. Like Edge of Fate was done. Ashen Iron, was basically done, because I think they said years ago, basically, by the time the expansion we're playing comes out, the next one's basically done, and they're like playtesting and bug fixing. Like, it's like there's not time to make big changes.
Yeah, they were playtesting and bug fixing at that point.
Well, right, yeah.
Remember, the QA team's gone.
Well, right. So I still, it still irks me a little bit. Like, there is obviously some playtesting and some bug fixing happening. Yes, obviously it is not like it used to be. I'm not saying it's in a good state, but like, obviously they're fixing some things. Like, some things are getting caught before they get out the door. Obviously, it's not where it needs to be at all.
I think with all the layoffs and everything that's kind of gone on behind the scenes, it's had such a knock-on effect that we're only just seeing the ramifications of it now with what we're actually getting in Destiny. I think the development team and everybody behind it that's still there are really finding it hard not to be open and honest about it, because I think they do want to be open and honest about it, but I don't think they want to tell us to the extent of how bad it actually is, of what we're getting and what we're not getting.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of where we are, is we're always going to be behind. Obviously the feedback we have, the community wants to see feedback now, wants to see changes now. With Edge of Fate being shipped and Ashen Iron, basically being done when Edge of Fate was ready, and then bug fixing it to release to us in a few scant months. We're not gonna see, while we want to see things tomorrow, and all the videos of Bungie lied to us, and Bungie is AAA scum now, and all the other YouTube.
Yeah, I think even Cheese Forever this week put out a video saying that here's the proof that they did lie to us.
Right. Like all of that, like, it's gonna take time. Again, for us to see any meaningful change. And yes, they've done some of these, the live updates, the LUPs, like, but for us to see any meaningful update, it's gonna be Renegades or post Renegades, because it's just they can't. They can't
do what they used to do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they can't even respond quickly as they used to be able to, just because they don't have the people for it. Let alone if they make big sweeping changes, God only knows what the state of the game will be when it comes out. Like, it's going to be more broken if you try to do big sweeping changes to your big underlying systems, and the game's only going to be more broken if they give us what we want quickly. So it's like, we're not going to see a quick course correction, because it's just going to take time, and more time even than it used to. And that's assuming, which again, I think we're going to get there. Like, again, this is a game. This is their job. This is how they make money. Like, for all of the, Bungie doesn't care. Bungie doesn't care. No, Bungie cares very much. Everyone there wants to keep their job. They want to keep making this game. They want to keep building a cool thing for us. Like, the not care narrative really just irks me. But it's going to take time to get there. And we're not going to see results tomorrow, which sucks for everyone involved. Because, I mean, is it 3 months? Is it 6 months?
Well, we've got another,
where we're going to see, a big change
12 weeks.
and
what
people want.
There's another
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the Renegades, but like, how much? Like, I'm sure they're doing, making changes to Renegades now, whatever they can, to address some of this feedback. But again, that's 12 weeks. That's 3 months of changing, testing, QAing, fixing, the biggest glaring issues that are still to be addressed.
Yeah.
Like, we're just not going to see changes quickly, which sucks for everyone involved. And especially with Destiny Rising and Borderlands sucking out, all the air in the Destiny world right now by being new and fresh and interesting.
And there's the additional factor of there's a new studio head. There's going to be changes in philosophy and changes in how they approach things, and he's going to want to make his mark and take some time to settle through as well.
Right? Yeah. That we're all going to see at some point. At some point in the future. Again, I figure Edge of Fate, Ashen Iron, Renegades. That's Pete. That's done. That's completed, shipped code basically at this point. We're not going to see anything. Again, big change wise until somewhere down the line. Again, we have no idea. I don't know what what Bungie has in their pipeline and where it is, and where that change in leadership can really affect that change, and whatever battle he's fighting internally against Sony right now, because I'm sure Sony is not pleased with how any of this is going, and so he's trying to now battle Sony's desires and wants and requirements on top of trying to right the ship on this game. Not a position I'd envy.
No.
Yeah, and I mean the video that Cheese put out about them lying, I'm like, yes, they might have lied, but I don't think it was an intentional lie. I think that when they did tell us stuff, they actually thought that this was going to be the case. And I think where they've had to then backtrack on certain things, or they've had to go back on things, or people have changed their minds, it's then come out that they've lied to us. But I don't think there was any malice behind it. I don't think there was any intention to lie to the community or to lie to anybody about what was actually happening and what was actually being done. And I think a lot of people at the moment would like to hear from the new studio head. If he was to come out and say, look, this is the state of play at the moment, and do what I think was it Joe Blackburn did with the Twitch video? Was it Joe Blackburn?
Yeah, but just I can't remember. Maybe just come out with a state of the game, state of the studio, state of the something. Yeah. Joe Blackburn, state of the game. Whenever, let's see, when was this? It was 2 years ago now. With Final Shape. So it'd be nice, just to sort of have a what's where are things? How are things? What's going on?
Yeah, I think if he was to come out and say, look, this is the state of play at the moment, and this is what I envisaged going forward, and just have an open and honest conversation with the community, just do a little video and open it up for people to see what he's got in mind going forward. I mean, he's had a good couple of weeks now to kind of discuss with the teams and go through what he wants out of Destiny and Marathon, and I think it's now time to address the communities and just lay it on the line and say, this is this, we're going to be focused on that, get this done, get that done. And I think that would help some of the communities anyway to hear from him rather than kind of not hear from him.
Yeah, who was it that a couple years ago did a straight to camera, almost no notes?
Joe Blackburn.
Yeah. Joe Blackburn did the state of the game. Looks like I think it was August 2023 or somewhere around there. I haven't found the video yet, but I found all of the reactions too. So yeah, it was like August 2023 is about when he did that. So 2 years ago is sort of the last, which I think was meant to be a series of things, which obviously did not pan out. But
no. But then with that, he then went, I'm creating a strike team that's going to give you 4 maps for PvP, because we acknowledge that we haven't given you anything in PvP. We got the 4 maps and then nothing after. I know that there's been various different changes and things that have kind of gone on, but it would be nice to hear what's actually happening.
Yeah. And something not lawyered and PR'd to death.
Yeah.
I liked his statement, the statement they released where he acknowledged the over-deliver, thing, and I liked that. So I'd like to see something that isn't written by committee. That's him. This is who I am. This is my philosophy of what Bungie is. This is what I'm looking to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, and to come out and say, yes, we know you want to see changes quickly. We're pushing things out as quickly as we can for what we can, but really, the changes are going to come in and give us a month and a year. It's going to come in this update launching around here. We are doing what we can now, but again, just giving us an idea of when we can see things, which I know maybe they don't want to do because they want, hope springs eternal. Every update they want us to maybe think things are all going to be great and fixed now, but give me, where's my 2025 map pack promise? Here's what we're going to do. I mean, honestly, you could come out and say, I mean, we still never saw any explanation for, hey, Mayhem being in the portal in Crucible just never happened. And I just never saw anything mentioned about that. It's just, again, one of 10,000 little paper cuts. It's like, it could just be saying, hey, over the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to be bringing this and this and this and this into the portal. We're going to be, bringing additional Crucible modes. Port Gambit to the portal. Like, you could leave Gambit untouched, throw it in the portal, and give it a tiered weapon pool. That's all you have to do. Just
don't
to add
even need to do
material.
that. Just the drops that you get from Gambit give you a light bump.
Right.
People would play.
Yeah,
if there was a light bump with anything, people would play it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, people are really looking. People are burned out on the grind and want to play things with their friends. And I think it was someone on Reddit, basically made a post saying, Destiny desperately needs a casual PvE experience. Everything is timed, everything is modified, everything is play under 50 light to get this A+ rank. Like, there's nowhere to go to play something for fun casually and to make any sort of progress at all in your light climb. Most of us are not sitting at 400 or 500 or the peak of light. We just want to play the game we've been playing for a decade with our friends and have a good time. Give us places to do that. Take a planet and say, hey, the Vex are going to invade Nessus this week. Sort of like you've done with the, hey, special ammo weapons will do double damage. Hey, this will, give us a modifier of, hey, go play in this planet in the world map. Go back to the Pale Heart for something. Go play Overthrow because we're gonna throw even if it was a like the crossbow drop for in the Reclaim, it has a very, very low chance. I think I saw Astacross say he had played 60 or 70 Reclaims and gotten one crossbow drop. Throw something like that in another game mode. Just give people a chase, even just a reason to go play something. And again, even if it's just a +1 light thing from an older content, give me a reason to go play something. Let me get I'm happy to have my light go up, at least a couple of points. If I'm playing for a couple of hours and I get a 10 more in my light, I'm good with that. I'm good just to make some progress at all. And if I have a chance for a cool weapon to drop, like a rare drop that I can go hunt, where I'm not having to, mainline pinnacle activities and race against a timer, that's really appealing and really interesting for me, a more casual player. And I think a lot of other people will be in the same boat. Those who are, have no life to the solo ops for the last 3 or 6 months.
Well, and the other thing is, Bungie's always like, well, play the game that you want to play. Play it the way you want to play. But, once you hit a certain level, like, you have to play champions. You have to play limited revives. You have to do, you have to play it the way they sort of want it and build the way they want it. And I've been living, I've played 3 Reclaims while we've been recording. I have gone up 5 points of light. I'm going to stay in Reclaim because there's no champions, there's no limited revives. It's a social activity, and it's much more. I'm feeling much more rewarded right now in Reclaim than I have felt in the last couple of weeks, to be honest. To go up 5 points of light in an hour in a activity that takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes at most, like that, I feel is rewarding my time.
And, but I think you can only go up so far with your light to the way you are before you then hit that cap of I can't go any higher without then sticking more modifiers on and getting champions and limited revives and timers. Now I hate the timers. Everything with a timer, go and do like these 3 dungeon layers, but there's a timer, and at the end of the timer, all those lives that you racked up, they're gone. And you're like, oh. And it's because I'm playing like Master or Grandmaster. I'm like, and I don't think that's the frustrating thing is that before we had the Edge of Fate with the final shape, we had the pinnacle tracks, didn't we? The what were they called? The
Pathfinders.
Pathfinders. Yeah. Originally with that, we had like the Pathfinders, and that you could just do various different ways and you would get a pinnacle. That didn't require you to stick a bunch of modifiers on, require you to complete something under a time limit, have champions in it. And I think that's the problem, is that there's nothing in the game now that requires you to just go and play and have fun and just get powerful drops and pinnacle drops. It's all, you've got to adjust these modifiers to get this, to get that, to get this, to then maybe get a +1, +2, +3 in your light drops. Yes, you can play and kind of focus whichever piece of armor that you need, which is really great, but there's no just play the game and you get powerful or pinnacle drops. There's nothing. I mean, they took out those Pathfinders. They said they were going to put something back later on. I think maybe for Bright Dust, or adjust the way they were going to do it. I can't remember now. But it's like you could play, was it 3 or 4 times those Pathfinders, and you would get a pinnacle drop at the end of it. You would do your clan stuff. You'd get a pinnacle from the clan stuff, even though, I mean, it never actually said it was pinnacle, but it was a pinnacle. You could play anything on the director, like 3 Vanguard strikes, 3 Gambit matches, 3 Crucible matches, or you could just do 9 matches of whatever you kind of wanted to do, and they would give you pinnacles for each 3. And it was like, that's all gone. So there's no kind of slow progression to do that. I mean, I'm at the stage of, if I do the little reward pass each week, I can then go and visit Zavala each week and pick up 2 armor pieces and a weapon. So that gives me a bump in light quite high. There's the 2 missions on Kepler, which are the focus ones for the week, which I think give you kind of powerful gear, but I haven't actually kind of done them. Yeah, I think I did one week just to see what they were like at Fabled difficulty. But with the final shape, you could go and play on the destination and get pinnacle stuff from the destination. You know, the swords were pinnacle. It's just they haven't made the destination a pinnacle thing. And I think talking to Noble about this last week, and it was like, it makes no sense that the destination is there and only up to a certain point you can get. I think I was playing through the campaign this week, just finishing it off with Blue, and I was getting capped out at 300 drops. I'm like, but I'm 350 or whatever. It's like, why is it not kind of giving me even +1? Just doing the basic Fabled campaign, just +1 in light from what I am, because I'm playing the destination of this expansion. I totally agree with Noble. There's no reason to play that destination. Whereas beforehand, with Final Shape and things that have come before, you go to the destination and that is your location to get drops. I understand about the portal. I really do. And I think the portal should be reworked.
On the subject of Noble, I just finished the last week's show yesterday. That man is burned out on the game.
Oh yeah, I can't get him to come back and play at all. He's now gone off and played Fortnite, and for somebody that was, I'd say, as dedicated as us when we first kind of met him, I think he's finding it really hard.
Yeah, dedicated more so. I mean, that man has more clears of. I mean, that man can run Shattered Throne with one hand tied behind his back and not paying attention to what he's doing. I mean, he has no life to this game, to the point of having just piles of clears on anything, and there's just nothing for him to do. There's no chase. I remember he started playing with some other folks who were either new, full new lights or returning. And he's just like, it's a miserable experience, like we talked about. Like, there's just you can't play with people with very different light levels and experience any growth or any power climb or anything.
No.
For all the play the way you want to play, it's now play this one particular way, max out the difficulty, and also play with people about your light level, or there's just really nothing there for you. And like we've been saying, the game is so small now with the portal. There's just so little available to you. I mean, as a solo player, especially, but if you are playing with other people, at least that opens the door a little bit. But just there's so little to do. Even again, just more matchmaking would be wonderful if we just had some matchmaking and everything. It's exhausting. But yeah, I mean, he's completely just done until there's a reason to come back. And
I honestly don't understand why they've gated power progression, because there's really no point in gating power progression. Let people get to 500 and then really grind it out to get to 550, because at the end of the day, if Renegades hits in 12 weeks' time, we're all being put back down to 200, and we've got to then climb back up. There is no I don't see what the issue is. So just showering us with the power progression up to 500 or even up to 400 beforehand, and then maybe making it a little bit more difficult for you to kind of get to 450 and 550. You then have to go into these activities, put on modifiers, do like the ultimate versions of these things to get your light. Or you can do it the slow way and have the Pathfinder version of, I can grab this each week, and maybe by two or 3 weeks before the end of the season, I'm at that power level, but I'm gonna just kind of gradually get there. So if you want to, you could do that, and also not having the raids and dungeons give you pinnacle like stuff for you to kind of chase. That pinnacle grind. It just, the mind boggles with this. I mean, Renard, you've had quite a few opinions in the Discord chat. What else is there to kind of cover? Because this is your platform this week.
I honestly cannot believe they got rid of the featured dungeon and featured raid. That was criminal malpractice on their behalf.
Yeah.
I do listen to a couple other Destiny podcasts.
That's fine. You can.
And
we do champion that. You can listen to others. I listen to others. I promote others.
In fact, I think we both listened to Guardian Downcast. I think I've heard you mention it. And he has been on that. Like, this raiding and dungeoning is what I do, and nobody wants to raid and dungeon when there's no
incentive.
And I mean, again, and that's what a noble's problem too. And just, there's no reason to do those end game activities because they're not. No, the community is so small right now, and there's just no one looking to do the things they've either done 1,000 times, or now is not the time because they're just like, what's the point?
I loved being able to go and get boss checkpoints and try and clean out the exotics I didn't have.
Yeah,
that I spent hours doing. Or my kid plays, and my kid is a lot better than I am. And we would go, and he would take me through Master Vogue, and I would get just showered in these time lost weapons that I would then use. And there's not that anymore. And that was a huge. I know they've got, or I'd like to think that they've got data out the wazoo on what people do in the game, and I'd have to believe that dungeon and raid outside of Desert Perpetual is dead.
Oh yeah, it's barren. Like I think I was saying last week, I went to get a checkpoint in Crota's End for the Abyss just to go and get like a weapon to craft.
Right.
And the Fang, because I only needed one, and it was so quick to kind of load up or get in the queue for the checkpoint. I think it was Traveler's Chosen that I joined, but previously when I would try and join a checkpoint, I'd have to wait 20 minutes for me to kind of get round, and I was able to join a checkpoint, get in there, load up my next character, and get straight back in there again. The checkpoint thing is just so barren. I know it's still kind of just constantly going, but yeah, nobody is looking for checkpoints. Nobody is looking to do older content unless you've kind of got a pre-made team now. It's very strange.
And honestly, like, I want Unoya, but I just can't convince myself that the time investment to get it is worth it. Because I'm the type of player that I clear it on regular, and then I go and do legendary.
Yeah.
And I want Unoya, but it just doesn't feel like it'd be worth it for me to spend the hours that it would take to go through the legendary campaign to get it. And it's a shame. Like, I as I said, this is the first time in like 4 years I didn't finish a rewards track. I just couldn't find it within me to get those last 3 or 4 levels.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of belly aching on Reddit, but there's been a lot of good stuff too. A lot of thoughtful posts from people who truly love the game and have taken the time to write down not the screed posts of Destiny is dead to me and I'm
Yeah.
uninstalling, but very thoughtful, long. I've been playing since week 1, D1, and it just seems like more than anything else, there's just been a lack of a we hear you. The TWABs are very tone deaf.
Yeah.
They're
It
very
does sound like the TWABs are being written by somebody, and then, like we had with the live stream, they had to then come out at the beginning of the live stream and go, "We do hear you. We're reverting stuff." It's like, who's writing that, and then who's then having to make that decision of, we're going to revert the stuff that you've written last week? It's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, and it again, maybe it's one of these. We need the new guy to straight to camera it and say, this. We know we have some serious problems. The other thing that I'm wondering is how much of the executive leadership attention is on the flaming dumpster fire that is Marathon. Probably still having to go through that. They're still going through the audit of the assets. And the horrible reception from the playtesting. I'm wondering how much, Destiny has
been affected by it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, but effective, but how much of them are like, well, Destiny it's on, it's got a player count, we're releasing things, money's still being spent on silver.
How much of a distraction has Marathon turned into without earning them a single penny?
Yeah. I don't think they saw this kind of coming. I think at this point they would have been gradually getting up to the Marathon release at this point, so that they could then focus back on, or not have to firefight Marathon and then come back and firefight Destiny. I think if there was one issue, they could kind of deal with that, get that out of the way, and then kind of come back. But at the moment, they're kind of fighting both fires.
And I don't know. Like, I playing Claire Expedition 33 with my kid. He wants me to pick up Subnautica. There's
there's other games to play, and
for the first time, like, I am spending my time on things not Destiny, and which is very weird for me. And
I was just going to ask, does it feel weird, like you're waking up and going, oh, there's other things out there? I don't turn on my console or PC and just load up Destiny 2 just by habit.
And it used to be, I used to be the guy that Destiny and Final Fantasy 14 would release their expansions on alternate years. And so when Final Fantasy, would release, I would, take a break from Destiny. There's like 2 or 3 Final Fantasy 14 expansions I'm behind. They're pretty good.
Because you were so invested with Destiny.
Yeah, that I was so, and they're pretty good from what I hear. I'm not a sweat. I'm not Rick Kakis. I'm not Dado. I'm not Paul Tassi. I'm just a guy who spent a lot of money with these people and, have spent a lot of my time with them, been evangelist to people about what a good game it is. And yeah, I don't feel that my time is respected right now. The fact that they're cutting seasonal events from 3 weeks to 2.
Yeah,
Who made that decision?
Yep, and the thing is, they're doubling down on it. They're like, I complained that when we had Solstice, it was only a 2-week event, and normally it's a 3-week. And then we're getting Festival of the Lost, and they're doubling down with, it's going to be a 2-week event. It's like, where have you gone wrong with this? Just, you go and play any other game. Like, I compare it to Fortnite because I only remember the one in Fortnite. They had the Fortnitemares, which goes on for literally the whole month. Just a whole month of spooky stuff, and you can get spooky weapons and things like that. It's like, and they do it every single year. Why are we limiting what we already had with 3 weeks down to 2? You're not cramming anything else into these things, because when Solstice finished, there was nothing for 2 weeks. There was no harm in saying, we're going to make Solstice a 4-week event. What was the issue there? Oh, people might have got tier 4 and tier 5 really, really quickly in that Solstice armor. And what was the harm in that? That Solstice armor isn't going to be necessarily coming back around for a whole year. So what's the problem with letting it be there for 4 weeks? People farm it, get tier 4, tier 5. they've got that armor set. It's good for solar. We're not really using solar at the moment, but it's just I honestly don't get it. I really don't.
They did something great with Solstice. They freaking showered us with loot. It was I was constantly having stuff going to the postmaster because they were just throwing so much stuff at me.
Yeah.
But then to make it a 2-week event, and one of the weeks I couldn't play. I had a very important thing at work to do, and I was doing 12-hour days at work, and the last thing I wanted to do, honestly, when I got done, was load up Destiny. I wanted to eat and sleep because I was going back to it tomorrow, the next day.
Yeah.
And I just it really is, and I do like these little events that they're doing. I liked Arms Day. I got the Sharp Eye or the Sharpshooter title. Heavy Metal could someday be something if we got more maps, and they fix some of the physics issues. But yeah, it seems like at every moment they have to make a decision, they've been making not the right decision.
Yeah. I mean, we can have a look at what they said in the live stream. So this is the Ash and Iron developer live stream, which spoke about Renegades first, but we kind of skipped that because that's Star Wars stuff, and not a lot of people want to hear about that. But the quality of life discussion that they said, that we've got a lot of stuff coming over the next few months. There's a roadmap coming. In the next few weeks, we're going to have a roadmap to Renegades. It's like, okay,
anyone going to be around?
Give us some information on what possibly is going to be there. Yeah, faster power climb and improved rewards, bonus engram rewards for raids and dungeons improvement. Want endgame to be more dependent source of power. Endgame things to be more rewarding. All base drops to be tier 3 in the epic raid. The Bungie agree that tier 1 and tier 2 in the endgame does not feel like endgame loot. They need to improve rewards and bring up the baseline. Want to be better for fire teams. They want to address the Caldera farm to stop the game from being, feeling so lonely.
Yeah,
Solo ops changes are reverted. So the bus
going to do these things.
Yeah, the solo ops changes are reverted. Bonus engrams are going to be feeding more into a weekly ritual to help the power climb. They're going to be expanding build crafting and gear tier chase. All exotic weapons and armor will be featured gear. So that was something that me and Noble were complaining about last week, and it's like it's so frustrating that you go to do an activity, you've got your build, you've got all your new armor set, but that exotic armor piece is like holding you back because you want to go and do like the Grandmaster thing. You've built into that, you've been using it, you've got their new armor, you've attuned it into your new system, but you can't go in because of that exotic piece. So that was, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, thank God for that.
Does Grandmaster have avant-garde on it?
Some of them do, and it depends on if you're playing the playlist or if you actually, because if you want to suddenly jump up the specs, if you don't want to kind of have loads of Banes in there and loads of different modifiers, if you can put on lock loadout and avant-garde, the one that's all together.
Can we talk about lock loadout for just a second?
Yeah.
Like there's so many new, again, like, we just got a new season. There's a whole new, set of weapons to use, but you can't ever use any of them because every activity you're doing feels like it's locked loadout. Again, to get what you need, it's like, it's all locked loadout. So it's like, you've given me all these new weapons. Okay, well, I'm going to stick to the one I know how to use because this is going to be difficult. If the loadout's locked, it's, a little, it's a higher tier. It's going to give me better rewards, whatever. Just not being able to switch between, like, the number of things I've when I've been playing alone, and honestly, I have spent very little time in solo ops because I just don't enjoy solo ops. I want to play this game with people. Matchmade especially. But like when I go into the solo apps, like the number of times I've loaded in and then said, oh, okay, well, it said you're going to have one of these, one or more of these champions. Oh, well, I didn't bring the right champion weapon and now I don't have an anti-barrier. So I basically can't complete this at all. So I have to leave and do it again because I just can't change my weapons around. It's like, okay, I hope you know exactly what you're doing. Bring the perfect loadout because you simply can never change anything. And it's just really frustrating
Yeah,
to
the champion
only-
things with the lock
to
loadout
only-
and the champions. Yeah,
Yeah, to have everything be locked. It's like, you're giving me all these weapons. I cannot ever use them because I'm using what I have. Let me use the new guns. Let me change things around. Let me try out new things. I can't because you've locked my loadout every time I'm doing anything with any amount of difficulty. It's super frustrating.
Well,
Yeah.
here's one decision that I've just come to realize as I've been playing these reclamation activities. Why would you make the chests on the map only give glimmer? You know?
Yeah. The chest that they want you to loot to get the extra 15 points or whatever for reclaiming the area.
On the Pale Heart, you could get things out of it. You could get exotic class items. You could get weapons. You know, this I'm always at 500,000 glimmer.
Yep. Recently, there's nothing to spend it on. It's like, I can't go and buy loads of bounties because there's no bounties to buy anymore. What do I want to go and spend that glimmer on? I know it's for leveling up and things, but by the time you've kind of leveled up 2 or 3 pieces, you're out of unstable cores, which I found this week because I swapped over to my Warlock, and it was like, well, you need 2,000 plus to get this up to that level, whereas incrementally doing it on my Titan, it was only like 100 here and 100 there. I'm like, now I'm completely out. It's just like,
I just don't get who's making these decisions. They're actively player unfriendly.
Yeah. And it makes no sense.
It's just another way that they've taken our stockpile of weapons and armor and things and reduced them to next to nothing. Like you might as well have pulled another, your vault got destroyed, start from scratch, or hey, we have to evacuate quickly, grab your 20 favorite weapons and we've got to jump on the ship and go, and everything else you lose. Like, you might as well have done that because that's basically where you've placed us in terms of what you can use and what's viable. Anyway, just
it is frustrating.
As I do have one thing that I've been wondering. As the resident old Chicagoan, I've been playing the campaign on one of my alts, and what I would like to know is who from Bungie has ever been on the L. Those frames are not as clean and nice, quiet.
Can I stop you there?
But have you ever ridden the L in another universe entirely?
No, not even that. Back in the 60s, I'm sure they were clean when they were first installed.
Oh no, I have been on new trains that came on the Red Line a couple of years ago, and they were filthy within a week. So I don't know.
I think people were a lot cleaner back then.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's been bugging me.
Okay. We are getting enhanced legendary weapon tiers in Shadow and Order, and I just want to upset people because Shadow and Order isn't going to be coming until the 3rd of March. So I know they said it, but they didn't kind of underline it to say that's not going to be until March 2023. So 3rd of March 2023, we are going to be being able to enhance our legendary weapon tiers. So that's something good. But then the weapons that we... Sorry?
I guess, and like, I know they did increase. They're not going to reset all of our weapons back to back to basis quickly. But which again, like, we all knew was going to happen. It's going to be, but roll back how things like this. So that's the next next major update we're getting. Ash and Iron style. Okay.
Yeah, I think Shadow and Order is the major update that's coming for Renegades. But also with that, and I think Noble and I were discussing it last week, is it going to be a situation of everything that we've earned up until Renegades is, yes, it's going to be able to be taken into Renegades for the 6 months or however long Renegades kind of last for until we get the next expansion after that. But say all the stuff that we've got now, is that only going to have a year's lifespan? So by the time we get around to next June, July, is the stuff that we've earned up to Renegades only going to be available for the year? So if, say, I've got like a ribbon tail now that I want to enhance when Shadow and Order come out in March, is it only going to be viable until the next expansion drops? If you see what I mean, are they going to kind of do it they haven't actually explained what they're going to do, whether the stuff that we get now is only on a year rotation. So Renegades will run from December to December, and Edge of Fate will run from July to July stuff, kind of thing. I need more details, because there's no point in me enhancing something that I mean, there is. I mean, I could still use it for 3 or 4 months, but then it's then going to be taken out of the game or depreciated by the time the next expansion comes after that, because that's when the time frame runs out for those weapons or even armor.
Right. Yeah. Like just the uncertainty behind all of this. I mean, like the number of creators I've seen, in the last week or two, just basically go, I don't really know like what to build or what to do or to make content for, because it's so unclear. Even just like what I should spend my time on, because 6 or 12 months from now, is this going to be viable at all? Will some of it be viable? Like, just there's no, before it was very clear, hey, this was worth your grind. Yes, like we know they're gonna nerf and buff things, or we know they're gonna adjust things, but it was still worth the grind. Again, worth the raids, worth the dungeons, worth the trying to get these weapons and armor pieces and artifice armor to have and carry forward. And now that's all very unclear. One, especially because just the state the game is in, are things even working the way they should be? And are the things, what are you saying today about how this is going to go forward? Are you saying anything? And is, what's the reality going to be 6 months from now? You're saying, oh, this is only going to last for X number of months. Oh, just kidding. It's actually going to be double that, or it's going to be half that, or it's going to be whatever. There's just no clarity going forward with where should I be spending my time? Is it, what's worth my time? Is it worth my time? And that's just a lot of uncertainty around what's, if I'm looting and shooting, what's my reward for putting that time in? Yeah. Am I going to be rewarded for that dedication, or do I wait 6 months and it's going to be a whole new setup, a whole new set of things to chase? And yeah, maybe I don't have that one gun that dropped in this season or whatever, but I can get other stuff, and so it doesn't really matter. I don't know.
Also, has anyone met our new champions?
No.
I saw pictures. I've seen pictures of people getting the new champions.
The flying champions, yes.
Yeah, the flying, and then the husk, or the ones on the ground that are,
unstoppable husks, and the barrier grims, which the barrier grims seem like they are not going to be fun.
No, I have not met them. I did see a video of somebody going, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's a flying champion." Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's at least they're evolving the game in a way. The Dread are a faction, and they've got their champions now. So
I think that some of the times when they've got like what they think that we should have in the game. So the Ashenine update came out, but I think the problem is where they suddenly go, right, we need to take that out of the game, or we need to backtrack on that, we need to change this, and they need to do it right there and then. I think that's causing a lot of the issues with the bugs and things that we're kind of experienced, because it was built to be this, and it's always been spaghetti code, no matter how we kind of like it or dislike it. It's always kind of, if you touch one thing, it has a knock-on effect with everything else here and there. And it's like, I think that's the problem, is that where they've kind of gone back on a lot of things, or they've had to kind of rectify what they've made a mistake on, it's had that knock-on effect with the bugs that we've all been experiencing.
Yeah, on top of just the reduced number of people, the reduced QA, the reduced time, everything.
Yeah,
it's all just multiplicatively making our experience a little worse.
Yeah, they got to one point yesterday, I couldn't load the mission. Every time I went to fly to Kepler, it booted me back to space, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening here. I think it might have been guitar error. So I transferred host to Blue, and I said, can you do it? He did it, and no, we had to reset the Xboxes, reset everything, and kind of come back. I had to do it twice because it wouldn't let me do it, and it was like really, really strange.
Yeah, that was my experience. I think 2 weeks ago, I was trying to do the campaign just on normal on my Warlock, just to get it done, because I didn't see the point in doing it on Legendary again. And yeah, there was one mission I walked all the way to where that mission indicator is, could not load it because I kept getting errored again, whether it was guitar, beaver badge, or whatever. Could not load the mission. It would load up and then kick me out. Load up, kick me out every time. I'm like, I literally cannot play your campaign. I cannot get through it on this character or any other character. Swap to the Titan to see if I can ever replay it there. Just would not load. I'm like, okay, well, guess I'll do something else then.
Yeah. We've got the featured gear score bonus to be removed. So not featured gear being removed, just the gear score from like your bonuses that you get that I wasn't aware that you got for doing some of the activities. So that's actually being removed. More vault space and improved sorting and filtering. Now, we've known that more vault space was coming, and they did say Renegades. So December 2nd, I'm expecting at least another 300 spaces in that vault. Let's round it out to 1,000.
And how quickly will you have it filled up?
Probably not that quickly. I mean, I'm doing quite well. I say that I'm doing quite well. I'm at 697 of 700, but
yeah, but
I've made space for new stuff.
Well, like you've also now had 2 new loot sets to get through, and that's assuming you're not doing, and that's people who aren't doing the raid. Again, we've had the Edge of Fate stuff and the first seasonal stuff. Ash and Iron, there's a whole new set of loot that's dropping now that, in addition to the stuff we got the first season. Where are the people who were sitting at 700 before putting any of this? Like, we need a significant, that's why I've been a little, I wish they would come out and say, yeah, we're doubling it. We're giving you 1,000. We're, something good. I'm afraid it's going to be, here's another 100 spaces, guys. And everyone's going to go, great. That doesn't move the needle at all for what we need. Like, it needs to be a significant improvement. Like, it needs rework the vault if you have to. Like this, we need a significant change.
And I get the, let's improve the sorting and the cataloging and things like that. But it needs to be like we've suggested in previous things of, if you've got a weapon, you should be able to kind of put that weapon in your your book of weapons and be able to re-pull that weapon back out without having it taking up your vault space. So like you've got with like random rolled weapons, if you've got that weapon as a random rolled weapon, it should be able to be placed in your book and you'll be able to take it out of that book. A bit like Fortnite. Fortnite were able to do that with all their random rolls. You could place a weapon in your kind of catalog book and then re-pull it back out for some materials at what you put in. And I think if people were able to do that, that would save some space, because if it still kept to the sentimental value of like kill counts and things like that, and it was still the same weapon, it would alleviate some of the pressures that you've got in your vault for having X, Y, and Z. Some weapon, like, why do your exotic weapons have to go in your vault? Why is there not a separate tab to say you've earned this? It's available at your power level. Because if you go to your exotics now and you pull out your exotics from your collections, like I pulled out a Sturm this week, it gave me a 200. And I'm at 350. Why is it not giving me an equivalent item? It makes no sense. Or not even equivalent, maybe 20 light levels lower. Like, why is it not giving me 320? It makes no sense. And why is that not running alongside? Because I've had to delete exotic weapons, I've had to delete crafted weapons to make space for the new stuff that's kind of coming in and swapping out armor rolls. I honestly don't get it that it's not kind of built in. And materials and things, why am I holding 2 hollow chip extractors? Why do they not stack? What is that about? And then I'm getting these stupid hollow chips that I got hollow chips when they came around in the actual event. So I've got 2 different versions of the Ardent Ordnance and 2 different versions of the Taking Flight. It's like, why have I got these 2 different versions? It makes no sense. Why are they not stacking? Because then that would free up some of the space in my inventory that I want to kind of keep free. But just improvements like that, Bungie.
Why do we also have our materials from the last dungeon event that we can't delete because it takes an hour to delete one of them, so they're just going to sit there forever?
I forgot that they were still there. But yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to sound too down on Destiny. I mean,
no.
I Destiny has been an important part of my life. When I think I've said something similar on the Discord before. When I got sober and was picking my life up, Destiny, logging in to do my dailies and weeklies, with the friends that I had online, sometimes was all that got me through the day. And this game has been here for me in some really dark times, and I love it. I've got a Destiny tattoo. It just feels like it's in a very dark space right now, and I want it to get out of this space.
Yeah, I think it's just going to take time, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's basically what we've been saying to each other every week and just talking offline, going, I don't want to come on here and just like moan every week about things because, God, there's enough of that going around. I don't need to add my voice to it. And yeah, like it is still a game I enjoy. It is still a place where I find fun and I find good times and solace in a way. We're also looking at this with a realistic eye. Like it's not in a good spot. It's portal. I mean, when people are calling for a whole rollback of the portal, which I don't think we need to go that far, but like we need to add to it quickly. Like if you're going to take the entire game and make it the portal, basically, which is what you've done, you need to do something more with it. Like we need more in the portal ASAP. There needs to be more stuff there. Again, why we haven't had them come out and say, hey, we have teams working on, hey, we're going to bring heavy metal back next time. There's going to be an additional map at least. Hey, we're bringing these other activities in, to the portal. Hey, here's what's going to happen with the next portal. Here's the other things, not just the new exotic mission or the new whatever. Here's the other stuff we're bringing in. Here's some things we're porting over just to give us content, give us more stuff to play in the portal. Like it's just so, again, we've been saying the same thing for a month now. There's so little to do there. You play it and then you're like, okay, I'm done with this. You basically fast tracked I play the seasonal activity so much that I'm tired of playing it, but you fast tracked that now to everything in the game.
Yeah. Well, they are going to be freeing up some teams because it says that they are pausing non-critical nerfs and balancing changes. So non-critical is basically things that aren't game breaking. So hopefully that frees up some people to do something. We've got upcoming supers and subclass buffs. The one that really got me this week, Stronghold and Chromatic Fire. Their changes are going to be pulled. But at the moment, my Strongholds don't work. My whole build with Strongholds, and I was looking forward to them. They become featured this week, and I was like, yes, I can actually finally use my Stronghold build again. No, I can't. It's absolutely worthless. I don't care if you want to change how kind of Radiance works or how my kind of what I'm kind of building up whilst blocking. But the moment you change the blocking, and as I said, reading those changes last week, I couldn't tell you what the changes were that were going to affect me until I actually got my hands on them. And they're absolutely useless. You grab a sword, you have your strongholds, and the sword then depletes the guard on, if you were using a regular sword and you were blocking without the strongholds, it depletes your guard resistance, and then you can't guard for a certain period of time until it charges back up. It's the same with the strongholds now. They're like, I think they do block whilst you're holding it a lot better than without the strongholds. But yeah, I would be in a boss fight and my guard would suddenly go down. I'm like, what? Have I done something? Have I been hit from behind? Has he stomped the ground and this is the new mechanic that I come out of it? What have I done wrong? It took me forever to kind of work it out that is just the new way strongholds. Well, hopefully they're going to change it back in this upcoming week, because absolutely terrible. And I don't understand where it came from, because top tier players were not using strongholds. Yeah. Right, they were not using strongholds to kind of solo content. You can still die. I mean, I've proven it many a times playing Grandmasters with you guys. If you're not standing at the right kind of angle and somebody comes up from behind, or you get stomped, or you get frozen, or whatever, you can still die. The enemies can still get you.
Right, or even if you're moving and you trip on a tiny rock and you drop that
Yep.
guard, you're dead. Yeah, it is not like an easy win button. It's not just hold this and you're good. Yes, it makes things easier, but it's not unstoppable, unbeatable. It's not just turn this on and now you're good forever. Yeah, just the whole mess of things that they had targeted for changes. It's like, why? What is this harming? Like I could, it's like I can sort of see sometimes if it's in a PvP thing and it's breaking PvP and whatever.
But as
like,
I said, they never broke PvP. I could
Right.
walk into PvP, raise my sword guard, and I would still get shot through it because PvP worked completely different. Unless you're a Titan and you're throwing your shield at me because it just bounced off that. I mean, but yeah, PvP, you couldn't use them in PvP. If they were broken in PvP, I completely understand.
yeah,
But this is PvE.
Yeah, I think in PvE it's like, why are we adjusting this? Who thought this was important enough to change? Was it just on a list somewhere, hey, we should touch the strongholds because we haven't touched them in a million years? And it just happened to come at, the worst time for the game. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, I can't speak to the chromatic fire, but I've heard similar things that people were unhappy with the chromatic fire and how they changed that as well. So yeah, apparently those are going to be pulled. They're going to be looking at better ways to improve communication regarding Sandbox changes. Dawnblade, Titan Bubble, and Golden Gun are being looked at, and we're getting a full list coming in weeks. Once in the coming weeks, and once the roadmap is together, Bungie will be transparent as possible. Thank you everyone for their feedback.
Mm-hmm.
For Ash and Iron, I'll just go through the stuff with Ash and Iron for the live stream. So Ash and Iron, we got a trailer, even though we'd seen the trailer. We know it's Reclaim the Plaguelands, but it's just called Reclaim. We got an intro mission in the tower, which Blue had completely skipped this week. I was like, Blue, have you not done the intro mission in the tower? He's like, no, I just went off and played Reclaim. It's like, no, if you do the intro mission, it gives you a bit of story. So I took him and dragged him through that to play that. So he was up to date with what's actually happening, because then you can bypass that bit in the tower and go straight to Devram and pick up whatever Devram was like. Okay,
that's exactly what I did. It said go see Devram on the EDZ where he's not allowed to leave, and I said, okay, I'll go talk to him there. I had no idea there was, like, I saw that there was a tower, or I could, down in the lower right hand corner there was something to go do, but I was like, I don't know what that is. I'll get to that later. I didn't even. Again, it's like, I mean, I guess I did appreciate them not just dumping us into some activity.
Well, I think that's the thing, isn't it? Normally, when you log in with a new season, they dump you straight into whatever that season story thing is, and sometimes you have to back out of it if you don't want to kind of do it, if you're kind of recording Eververse stuff.
And
but
honestly, I very much appreciated that change. Very much appreciated it.
But then they didn't make it explicit that it was there that you needed to go and do.
Right.
So it's like,
it's like, oh, there's a thing here to do. I had no idea. I mean, I would have gotten to it eventually. It's not like it was hidden, like it was right there, but just didn't realize that was a thing to do. I went and talked to Devram. I went and did my Reclaim. I went and talked to Devram again, and I was like, okay, well, I finished that quest for whatever, for what little it was. Didn't realize the thing in the tower was there that still felt sort of disjointed. Like, hey, there's people in the tower. Oh, okay, why?
Yeah.
And okay, we're gonna kill them and then be done with it. Okay, cool. Moving on, back to Reclaim, I guess.
Yeah.
Going back to the beginning, I just was able to tool around with my ship. Crucible Peppermint, that's the keeper. That's the keeper for me.
That's the keeper for you, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Does it make the cat look the best?
No, I've got the X-Wing on, but I might go buy the cat ship now that I know that you can
I mean, it's important to let the people know, is this a cat update or a Star Wars update? There's only two things in the game at this point. There's cats and Star Wars. There is nothing else.
I saw a post on or one of the comments on Reddit about, it was in the whole state of the game thing, and it was literally about one guy was complaining. He was like, I think we should look into why Bungie is all into cats and there's no dog things. Do they hate puppers and all this? And I'm like, hey, it's a cat life game. It's all cat life.
There is a dog in the game.
Yeah, there is. There's Archie.
Yeah.
Apparently the people demand more doggos.
No. Keep it cat. Keep it cat. And October 1st, I break out the black cat shell. You know.
Yeah. I feel you with that one. But there does look to be a ship that's coming up in the Eververse that's got a mole on it.
A mole?
It looks like a mole.
Like
A
the
mole?
animal mole?
The
Person's
animal
face.
mole.
Oh, okay, the animal mole.
It's called Beautiful Beast.
Hmm.
And it looks like a mole. Or maybe it's a bear. Maybe it's a bear. It's a bear underneath a bed. Strange. Yeah, that's coming up at some point. So,
All right.
if you're upset with your cats, you've got bears. Well, and you've got the lion one. That lion, Leone Fidelity. That's a lion. That lion head one.
Lions are just cats, though.
Dragon. We've got the Demon Flight. Yeah, they're all coming up in the Eververse store for
Some more
Bright Dust
cats.
anyway. Yeah. So we've got the exotic mission coming in October. So this is hopefully the one that we can go and get our exotic axe. We've got updates to Arms Week, Iron Banner, Fest of the Lost, and more. We got an explanation of what's happening with like Maya and what she's doing with the 9 and the knock-on effects coming in Ash and Iron. And we've got some new weapons. So we've got the rocket frame Drang and the new Mida shotgun. Have you guys seen these at play? Have you got some of these to drop yet?
No, I'm looking to get some this weekend.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple. Haven't really played with them yet, but again, because all my loadouts are locked and haven't been able to.
So your Unfall, which is your arc sidearm, that's pretty cool. And I don't think I've got the shotgun as yet, and I don't think I've got it written down. But I'm sure there's a shotgun, and you can get it, and it's got the synergy perk on there for the Mida.
Yeah, there's the Mida macro tool. I had exactly one drop the other day.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Mida macro tool. It is also arc, and yeah, it's got the Mida synergy on it. Like you
Now,
said.
In the live stream, they said that Iron Banner's coming back next week with a new armor set and hand cannon, and the armor set bonuses are really cool. But let's not lie to the community outright, Bungie. This is definitely a lie. It's not a new set, is it? It's a
Well,
reprise set. It's a reprise set. Looking into it, it's a complete reprise set.
Have you seen the other, I'll say, discourse around
Yes.
the gladiator base set? I think the Gladius set that was,
in the Eververse only
was on Eververse and was posted to ArtStation, and at the ArtStation post definitely had a Iron Banner looking tree and the fiery chests, which is where we have our Iron Banner based armor. And that they've now apparently, as of this morning, pulled the post from ArtStation showing this artwork about the Gladius armor set. So Bungie, you're fooling no one. But yeah. So yeah, we're going to get, I guess, redone seashell sets, which I don't remember what they're called, but it's the seashell armor where you look like King of the Ocean. It's from however many years ago.
Yeah, I mean the Gladius armor set ArtStation, if you want to, it's been taken down, but you can still see it if you want to have a look because loads of people made videos on it. But yeah, that looks like the set that should have come to Iron Banner that was then put into Eververse. So yeah,
which would have been a cool set, but now we just get reskinned armor from however many years. Is it even reskinned or is it, I guess, recolored? Because it looks.
It might be recolored slightly.
I won't say it looks exactly the same, but it looks. I mean, again, just looking at that helmet and stuff, it looks very much the same as what we had before.
Yeah, I mean, we've had like various different versions of the sets before. I mean, I've got like I think it's 3 different versions of Timur's Iron Bond that I've still kept on my Warlock. That they're all exactly the same, but they've just turned them around slightly, changed the colours on them, or they apply shaders differently. It's like, okay, yeah, we'll just call it a new set, shall we? But no. We're not even getting a new weapon for Iron Banner this time. We're just getting a reprised weapon, the Finite Impactor. So I'm not sure what's happening. I mean, I'm guessing you can still go back like you can with the Vanguard stuff and buy the old Iron Banner weapons from Saladin in the tower. But then the new stuff that's coming we'll kind of get to later on. But it's like, we're not even getting a new weapon, or even the new weapon that we got halfway through the season towards the end of last Iron Banner, I think it was that scout rifle, wasn't it? I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
While you're looking for that, yeah. So the Iron Beryllium set is basically what this set looks like, which looks very similar to the Bredomart's Iron Helm. At least I'm looking at the Titan cosmetics. So
Yeah.
the Iron Beryllium and then the Bredomart set. I can't tell looking in dim if the Bredomart set's exactly the same, but the Iron Beryllium set looks exactly like the same helmet as this set. So it's that set that's getting reskinned a second or possibly third time.
Possibly. So the solar scout rifle, the lightweight frame that we got at the end of last Iron Banner, I think it was only for the last couple of Iron Banners, the Nature Reclaimed, that I'm bewildered why that hasn't been brought up to the Weapon 3.0 system, because that's only just been introduced as a weapon. But
yeah. So Bungie, let me hold your hand as I say this. Let me look deeply into your eyes. Are the weapons we're getting from Iron Banner going to be tiered weapons?
Yes, they are.
Are they going to be in the new system?
Yes.
Is there a Nature Reclaimed I will be able to get that'll be in the tiered system?
No.
Or are you going to launch with the untiered weapons? Or are there two places for me to launch the Iron Banner? One of which will give me tiered weapons and one of which will not, a la heavy metal.
Well, I'll come back round to Iron Banner, but apparently Arms Week is coming back with shotguns, the focus with shotgun mod. We're getting Fest of the Lost, which is only going to be for 2 weeks, as we kind of discussed. And we're going to have a new activity coming with Fest of the Lost. Those headless ones, they're not in the Haunted Forest. They've broken out into a 6-player activity, and there's going to be a PvP activity as well. So, yeah, we're not getting the Haunted Forest back, guys. We did ask for it.
But we are getting amazing armor.
We are getting amazing armor that we all voted on.
My warlock as Slenderman is going to look sharp.
We're getting 2 new weapons and a reprise weapon. Apparently, the activity is pure chaos. We're getting a new event called To Arms at the end of Ashen Iron. We're working with Devram to stress test New Foundry gear and its competitive aspect to it. Brand new crossbow incoming with the event. So, yeah, we did see the new heavy crossbow that is like very low chance to drop, but it does have a chance to drop in Iron Banner coming next week. And again, they reiterated Ashen Iron launches now, and the roadmap is going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. Do you guys want to quickly go over the rest of the stuff for Renegades, or should we kind of let people watch the 10-minute Vidoc? There is a 10-minute Vidoc about it, that if you're excited to hear all about the Star Wars stuff with lightsabers, Han Solo's blaster, what was the name of the faction? I can't remember the name of the faction. Imperium?
I keep wanting to say Praxis.
The Baron. No, the Baron Imperium, weren't they? And they are a Cabal force that actually won the Red War in another timeline that Maya has pulled into this timeline, which sounds really exciting. The possibilities of jumping from alternate realities or different universes that could possibly play into Destiny Rising, maybe Bungie. Just saying that, or even Elsie has to come back into it because she doesn't have time to tell us what she doesn't have time to tell us. So just the implications for that are amazing going forward. So I'm excited just for that kind of aspect of the story. But I mean, go away and have a look at the Vidoc yourselves. When I was watching it, I compared it to the recent Star Wars game, Star Wars Outlaws, where you kind of have to keep different factions, keep aligned on different factions, and keep your reputation up with them to kind of get jobs done. It does sound like it was a kind of copy here, but that's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys thought.
Yeah, I mean, having never actually played any Star Wars game, it looks like Star Wars in my Destiny. Which, yeah, like Demon said, go watch the Vidoc because it's got everything you want to see in it. It's got all the lovely teasers and treats, and how you're going to be getting your not lightsaber, your Praxic blade, I think is what they called it.
Yes, and the Praxic Order are the ones that are kind of wielding it. So they have been part of Destiny lore for a long time, and they were saying that the Dredgens are the kind of the Sith version of the Praxic Order. And then at the end of the trailer, you kind of got like Sith versus Jedi kind of thing.
Yeah. but that's all coming December, and we'll see. At this point, I'm hesitant to. We'll see what we get when we get it.
Yes.
It's going to be Star Wars. It'll be December. We'll see what happens between now and then.
The locations are kind of the locations that we've been to before. We're going back to Mars, so we know what to expect, like the red sands and kind of things. But they did say, we're getting things like reminiscent of Dagobah and Hoth with its icy planet, like with Europa. And if they keep the same kind of aesthetic that they showed us with where they're on the kind of the director or whatever it's going to be at that point in the portal, with how you're kind of choosing your location and then what you're actually kind of doing with like the bounty hunting jobs and the sabotage and the smuggling, if that's kind of kept the same as what they showed us. I mean, it does say in development subject to change, but that feels Star Warsy to me. The kind of the aesthetic of even like the portal parts of it are really Star Warsy and look different and look new and refreshed for kind of Destiny. I know the portal's kind of a refreshed version of like the director, but if they kind of keep these things in there, it's looking nice.
Again, Bungie, I can't tell you if you're going to launch a whole new Dredgen thing and we're going to save the Drifter without some version of Gambit. Come on now. Come on.
No, I think they did. I think they did say there was a version of Gambit thing in there.
Well, I mean, everything's a version of Gambit, but proper. Come on, Bungie, it's right there. It's right there.
They'll have a new title. They'll have a new title for you.
I can be a 10,000 times Dredgen like all the other people I've seen running around.
I can't remember the name of the activity, but they said it's going to be another PvP/E activity where you can opt in to having a single invader, or you can play just versus the computer, basically.
Right. They're doing everything they can to have Gambit without Gambit, which I just continue to be entertained by.
Yeah. Apparently it's going to be highly replayable. You have said this about other things, but just
like just again, give us a reason to play. Give me a reason. What you guys were talking earlier, I was thinking, we've been playing this game for a decade. We're older now. Some of us have children. We need a PvE activity that when you hear the dad from the other room, you can set the controller down and you don't get killed immediately. There needs to be activities you can walk away from and tend to your adult responsibilities without, putting your entire fire team at risk.
You mean you can't do that in the middle of a raid? I'm sure I've done that in the middle of a raid. I've just hidden behind a pillow, gone, you guys deal with the vault of glass. You deal with those oracles over there. I'm just going to hide here.
Yeah, I'll be over here for a minute. But yeah, just you need to be able, not every activity needs to be on a timer or that you have to move constantly. Like you need to be able to live your life while playing the game and not put everything at risk. So yeah, Bungie, give us an activity we can replay and enjoy that doesn't require us to sweat and doesn't require us to, max out the light level to up infinity and beyond. So if we get that, that's exciting.
I tell you what was exciting this week, and I did genuinely yesterday found real enjoyment playing Destiny, not like for the first time, but just an enthusiasm to come back and play the game because I was using something that was broken in the game that was just really fun to use. And it was this kind of pairing with the Sturm and the Dreng. Have you guys seen the videos out there this week?
Oh, yes.
With the Ashen Iron update, they've broken the Sturm and Dreng kind of combination and pairing to the fact that you don't actually have to use the Sturm and the Dreng, or you have to use your Dreng, but you don't have to use your Sturm. You just have the exotic weapon out, but then you can just use your abilities and just go to town. So if you spec into whatever you want to kind of spec into a high melee build or high grenade build, like it was fantastic. So the idea is that you can pair your Sturm and your Dreng together and you get a kill with your Dreng, just one kill, and that powers the Sturm up. And the idea is not to use the Sturm, but to use anything but. So you can use all your abilities and things as long as you still got your Sturm out. And I was watching the videos on like Thursday night after reading the TWID, and I was like, They haven't patched it yet. I wonder if it's still going to be viable to play like over the weekend. I mean, I now know it's kind of disabled in trials, but you can still use it in PvE activities. So I got up on Friday and I was like, I'm going to go to the firing range or the shooting range. I hadn't actually kind of played around in there. So I was pushing buttons all over the place and shooting things and trying to remember what I'd seen in other people's videos. So like, how do I activate these things? How do I get these things up? And I managed to get like a squad of Hive up and a champion. And I was like playing around with different exotics because I was like, well, if I'm powering up my Sturm and I want to kind of build into, say, my melee stat, and I've got my throwing hammer, if I throw my throwing hammer out on solar, I can pick it back up, and then that recharges my melee ability. As long as I kind of can pick the hammer back up, it goes pretty quick. So I spec'd into kind of, I think it was 200 at that point with my melee abilities. And I thought, there's a couple of exotics that would benefit from constantly going around and meleeing. So I tried initially I did start with the Worm God's Caress, and I was like, this is really cool. But on a solar subclass, spec'd it out to 200. So I got the bonuses and the buffs. I can't remember what it is at 200 off the top of my head. So I tried with the Worm God's Caress, and I spec'd it out with the solar abilities. And I think I had Roaring Flame. So if you get, I think you can stack it up to 3 times. And then also with the Worm God's Caress, you get the Burning Fist. So when you defeat targets with a melee or a finisher, it grants you an escalating melee damage bonus, which does decay over time. But you can literally just keep walking around and punching things. And I think with the aspects and fragments that I had on as well, I think I had the one where if you get a kill with solar abilities, it drops the sunspot, which also then kind of heals you. So if I melee something, it explodes and drops the sunspot. I'm then being healed. If the other things then come towards me, I can punch them again. And what I found was that I could get my Drain kill first, pull out my Sturm, and then go around and melee things, and it was doing stupid amounts of damage. I could literally, after I think about 3 kills by just walking around meleeing and having the Sturm out, throw my throwing hammer at the champion and just one-shot them. And I'd seen the videos of people doing it. I was like, this is amazing because you can stack the damage on top of the damage and have this Sturm buff as well that shouldn't be there to just kind of take out these champions and bosses. And I played around with that. I then also tried Syntheseps, which wasn't as powerful. I think you can also build into kind of a grenade build with Ash and Wake with your fusion grenades, but I went with the melee thing because I thought I can always just throw out my grenade as well, because it's an ability that, well, if I throw the thermite grenade along the floor, get a couple of kills with that can kind of recharge in the background, and then I can just keep walking around and punching and throwing out my hammer. But you could also probably go with like Doom Marchers and things like that with sprinting and punching people. I did also try and swap it onto an Arc subclass. It worked with the Worm God's Caress, but it didn't satisfy that kind of over-the-top powerful kind of punch. And met up with Blue, and Blue put on the same kind of build, and he was on a Warlock just throwing out fire all over the place, and I was on my Titan just running around punching things and throwing out this hammer. But if you haven't tried it, it's worth trying, because it just brings the fun back to Destiny, especially kind of we finished off the Fabled missions for the campaign. And we were just chuckling to ourselves at the fact that instead of it being kind of really tedious of having to sit back and hide from the bosses and take pot shots at them with sniper rifles, we're running up and we're kind of doing supers on them, because your super, as long as it's a roaming super, also does the extra damage as long as you've got the kind of the Sturm out in your your primary slot.
Everything affected by that melee stat, basically.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, the 200 it gives you up to 30% increased melee ability damage, applies to powered and unpowered, and also glaive melee. So it'll stack on a glaive if you want to add that to the fun.
Well, yeah, the funny thing is, you could probably put a glaive in. Have you got a glaive in your heavy slot? I think we've got exotic glaives.
Winterbite.
Yeah, but you can't see because the Sturm's the exotic that you've got on your primary. Yeah. So, I was still running around with a sword, and I watched a TikTok, and I can't remember who it was, but the Returned Memory, which is the solar sidearm that's come this month, but it's also benefiting from the Sturm and Drang combination, even though it's not got the it hasn't got the intrinsic perk of Together Forever like the Unfall does and the Drain. It just works with it. And I can't remember who it was on TikTok, but thank you for them to kind of shouting it out, because I really spec'd into solar with it. So I had the Return Memory, which was the new micro missile framed sidearm, which is solar, and I had redirection on there. I also had heal clip on there. So when I did get the kill, reloaded, I got the health, but then I wasn't using it. So the reconstruction was actually working as well behind the scenes. So when I did pull it back out, it still had loads of ammo on there. And then I was using the new sword, the Cinciata, which is the new solar wave frame sword, which has a couple of good perks on there. I think I've got one with chain reaction and sharp harvest on there. So as long as I was getting kills with that, I was then generating the ammo for the sidearm, and then just hanging onto the drain and just kind of, it was so silly. And then I swapped over to my Warlock, and we went and played Reclaim. And I don't want to say that we walked. I think it was Grandmasters that we were playing. I don't want to say that we walked them, but I think we walked them. And he had on the Sturmdrang, I had the Sturmdrang kind of combination, and I pulled back out my old Warlock combination of having the Controverse Hold, I think it was. Is it the Controverse Hold? No, the Getaway Artist. Had the Getaway Artist with my Prismatic build, and so when you consume your grenade, it gives you your little arc buddy. But what it also does on the Prismatic build, if you have the stasis turrets, it also drops a stasis turret, and you have the arc buddy. And then you can also then put on the solar ability that when you drop a rift, you have the solar buddy as well. So I had the solar buddy, the arc buddy, and the turret, and I was just standing there. I wasn't doing a thing. They were just recharging my abilities, and everything was just kind of dying around me. It was just so much fun. We did swap it out a couple of times because we did one that had the lock loadout and the avant-garde in together. So I had to swap out for the Rhymecoat Raiment. But again, I was being able to kind of throw down the ice turret and have the crystals around it, then drop my rift and have the solar buddy and just be protected by everything and just stand there. I mean, it was just so much fun. I really want to kind of get onto the Hunter and use my the rolling around and punching build that I had for my Hunter, and I can't remember the gauntlets that you can use.
I want to say Liar's Handshake, but I don't know.
I think it's Liar's. I think it's Liar's Handshake. Yeah, on the Arc, because I did see a couple of videos with people using that, and I was like, oh, I love that build. I could use that build again.
Well, I've got some good news for you, because all those builds are just going to get better. Because right now there's a bug with the game about grenade and melee regen that it's about 22% less than it should be. So wherever you've spec'd into it, you're getting about 22 less regen on your grenade and melee abilities than you should be. Class ability is fine. That's working as intended. So any build you're using that doesn't feel quite as strong after Ashen Iron, it's because it should be 22% better. So, but we'll get to it later. Bungie's aware of it, but those builds will only improve and only get better once they give you the regen you should be getting at. So your 200 isn't quite 200, more like a 170 situation maybe, but so it may not do more damage, but at least you'll have it up even quicker, and no one doesn't like that.
So much fun, and it really did bring back like the playing as a team and just going in there and having fun with something that was overpowered that we should be struggling at, according to Bungie, with all these kind of different modifiers on, because we did customize our game to make it slightly different from what they had in the Portal. So it's like, well, we want to get really good rewards, so we want to get an A+, so we want to put all these different things on. So we did kind of push up the challenge, but it really wasn't a challenge. It was just really good fun. Although I did upset Blue, because at one point we were playing the last mission on the Fable thing, and we were doing the Vex Gate Lord part in that mission before the final boss, and I kept dying, and I think it was because I was being too reckless. I was running around kind of punching things and throwing down like all these solar things, and I was able to kind of build it up and throw at the boss, and we really burnt down the boss. But then when it came round for the second damage phase, there was too many enemies for me to kind of take out at once. I kind of had to pace myself and go round, but we got it done. It was a learning experience, as I said, Blue, for me. He said he wasn't learning apart from the fact that he learned that I was just. I found that fun. I was like, yeah, it's fun. I said, you could put me in the same bracket as Esoteric, because I'm sure that he kind of does this, tests out things to solo that he doesn't record, and then when he does do the record, it looks perfect. So put me in the same kind of, and he didn't believe me.
So please clip it and remind Night Demon. Then he says, put him in the same bracket as Esoteric. So Night Demon will have you for all of your carries and your clutch wins.
No, for the training, for the training part of Esoteric.
Oh.
So that needs to be a clip for when he in a couple weeks he says he did something really stupid. Just play it. Put me in the same bracket as Esoteric.
Esoteric does stupid things. You just don't see him do the stupid things. Well, I've never seen a montage of Esoteric trying and failing. It's always just Esoteric just doing
succeeding.
the best. Yeah,
I
just
have
succeeding.
the opposite problem. I never do anything well. Put me in a jumping puzzle, and I'm the guy that is constantly saying, "Just pull me, just
leave me be." Yeah, first time or never.
Yeah,
for jumping puzzles, either immediate success or constant failure forever.
When Right of the Nine was out, my kid and I love Spire, and he's got the eager edge sword and the what is the stasis dash, and I would just stand there, at where the platforms were in the reactor room, and I'd be like, Link, just pull me, Link,
Yeah.
I'll just stand here and pick off harpies, and you can go pull me.
I'll guard this room. It's going to be safe, I promise.
So, should we talk about This Week in Destiny or the TWAB?
The TWAB
for September 11th.
I suppose we must.
Although I think we have spoken about a lot of it. It's just like a lot of the stuff that's in here is kind of, go and check out the Renegade stuff, go and check out the Ash and Iron stuff, which we have kind of covered.
Yeah, but we have dutifully checked out. We have played some of. We have opinions and thoughts.
But we are getting something called live updates or LUPs. Do we really need another short? Can we just say live updates? Because I don't want to say LUPs. I'm not saying LUPs.
No, like do we need this?
Like LUPs.
Yeah, and they link back all the way to September of 21st of 2023, where I guess they talked about, hey, we have the ability to do live updates now. Okay, good. We sort of knew that, but
do them.
But great, yeah. So for what it's worth, they have done these. They did push these. So the things that they're going to say, we're going to push these as soon as we can. These have been pushed as of the sound of my voice and our voices. These have been pushed. They're live in the game. So these updates have been pushed live with the LUP system.
Oh dear! But they're going to continue with larger updates in patches. So I don't know how you differentiate what could go with a live update to what's actually in a patch. But
I think a live update is something they can push server side that doesn't need code to be downloaded to the console.
Yeah. Is there? Basically, is there a knob they can twiddle on the server to say, change this value from X to Y, change this number from 0 to 1, or do we need to actually push code because we're making a change where your game client actually needs to know about this? Yeah, is basically the difference. Okay. So basically, so small things, hey, we can turn on and off a weapon in single activities. We can just, again, change a 1 to a 0 and onto it off somewhere. Whereas if it's big major changes, that's going to require code. That's going to require, you turn on your console or system and it'll say, here's a download. Here's some new bits and pieces for you.
Fair enough. Well, first off, the climb from 450 to 500 needed to be better. And even better than that, because the live update that they've given us for 450 to 500, so A+ grades now give you +2 in power, A grades now give you +2 in power, B+ give you +1 in power, B grades +1 in power, and C grades now grant gear at your power level. Gold 400 to 450, B grades now grant you 1 power, C grades gear at your level. Silver 300 to 400, C+ will now grant +1 power. But I've heard a lot of people say that even this is still not good enough. You need to be looking at +5, +4s, and if you're expecting us to do A+ whatever and put on all these modifiers, the gain should be greater than this +2 plus. Because again, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. You could just do your little star charts and get a pinnacle reward and not have to go through any modifiers. Give you +5 to your power level. Apart from when you were kind of getting to, is it? I can't remember now. Was it pinnacle at that point? That if you were below the pinnacle cap, it gave you +5 to your power. But when you reached the pinnacle cap, and we're going for the high, the 10 plus in the last iteration of seasons, it only then gave you +2 to your power for whatever kind of you were getting. So even getting to 500, which should be was it the power cap? Yeah, it was the power cap was the big thing, and then the pinnacle cap was the +10. So yeah, even getting to the powerful cap should be giving you +5, even more than +5 for getting an A+ rating. So I don't agree with these changes, and I'm not even there yet. So you guys aren't. You're not there, are you?
No, I know, because I mean, yeah, again, the silver change for, hey, you can get a C and still get some progression. I mean, the fact that you're just getting, nothing out of playing the activity is a terrible experience. Like, again, I'm not expecting +10 if I get a C+ rating, but to get nothing out of it before, come on, guys. Like,
yeah.
Again, like, if I'm playing the game, give me something for playing the game. I'm completing the activity. It's a move in the right direction, but needs to go.
The needle needs to be moved way higher. The live update scoring changes. They've reduced the number of modifiers to reach the score as forecast. Note how much this helps with your score forecast depends on where you are in your power climb, granting everyone the featured gear score bonus by default. And they're also going to be posting on the D2 Teams account when it's live, and they're targeting it's to ship by the end of the week. So you said it's already kind of shipped, so it's live now. Good.
Yeah. They mentioned, I think, either Thursday or Friday. Hey, that this is live now. It's in the game.
Cool. Patch for 9.1.0.1 for Tuesday, September 16th. So before Iron Banner launches, game will go down for a couple of hours as it. I say every week, but there have been a couple of weeks where they haven't kind of gone down, which really surprised me. But anyway, so all power bands players will have a chance for prime engram drops per portal activity completion reward. For 50 to 500 power increase up to +3 power was 2. And then they're going to increase the number of drops from many activities in the fighting ops. And here's a breakdown on what you're going to get.
They're all going up 1.
Yeah, most of these were kind of, the current reward was 1, you're going to get 2. And if it was 2, you're going to get 3. And guess what? If you got 4, you're going to get 5. So you increase the drops. They may not be a plus light in power, but you're going to get increased drops. So, yeah.
Again, just give me more things for playing the activity. I like how they put this big giant chart out of, for all these different things, current reward, new reward, they all go up by 1. You can refer to the chart if you want to know exactly what thing it is, but whatever it is today, add 1 to it. So, I mean, the coil and Contest of Elders 3 to 4 will be your, and then the Onslaught Widow's Court 4 to 5 will be your biggest, if you're looking for what's the actual,
things that take the longest, basically.
Yeah, most number of things I can do. Yeah, things that take the longest, that'll give you the most number of rewards. But yeah, everything goes up by 1. So again, moving in the right direction, just could move more, maybe.
They're also going to increase some timers. So Avalon is increased to 35 minutes with the 9.1.0.1 update, and Presage will be increased to 20 minutes in the 9.1.1 update as well.
So we're not just going to delete the timers, guys, because we don't need the timers for anything.
Timers need to go.
No, nobody wants them.
No, nobody wants timers. They're also looking into rewards feeling undertuned, the Ashen Iron update and the Reclaim activity. So their LUPs goes into effect, so the additional improvements go live next week, and they continue to monitor feedback and make adjustments.
So when they say undertuned, what does that mean, Bungie? Does that mean not enough rewards? Does that mean rewards that are too low? Does that mean both? Like, what exactly does undertuned mean? What would a properly tuned reward look like? Things that at or above my tier level? Things...
Look, we'll see when it comes next week and see
Yeah.
if they've upset Datto again, because Datto's very upset at the moment.
Yeah.
So if you've upset Datto, you know you've done something really bad.
Yeah.
Everybody else, yeah. Datto, yeah.
When you've
Oh,
lost
dear.
Datto and Scaro, you've lost the plot.
Definitely.
So yeah.
So yeah, Ash and Iron Renegades launches 2nd of December. We've got Vidocs, we've got videos that we've already talked about. Reclaim is available as 3 separate fireteam ops and requires focus and good coordination. Not if you've got the Sturm and Drain combination, you don't. You can just go off and do your own thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, just walk through it. Yeah.
Just walk it.
Yeah. We've got some future Sandbox tuning they're going to do, because that's what we need to do is Sandbox tuning. So let's see what they're going to tune. So their goal for this is to put these in the game with the update 9.1.5 coming October 7th. So these you already knew about, others are new. So Warlocks, you guys are getting a new passive trait. A 10% bonus to passive energy regeneration. Passive grenade energy regeneration. And a 5% additive bonus to grenade damage, which is 2.5% in PvP.
Which is a long time coming, because we were the grenade class, and grenades have felt so weak for a long time. I know they want us to build in more buddies now, and it's all about buddies now. But
grenades,
which are grenades now.
No, not now.
9.1.5 or whatever.
October 7th, yeah.
Yeah, but I like, I'm an old Sunbracers main. I just want to make things explode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, have an entire class where we've taken your grenade and made them something special to then have the grenades feel so poor. Yeah, like you said, a very long time coming. And, as a reminder, the following Warlock constructs now count as grenades for stats and perks. So your Ionic Sentry, your Hellion, your Bleak Watcher, your Child of the Old Gods, and your Arc Soul. So all your buddies are finally going to be grenades and, benefit from this new passive trait. For Void, your Chaos Accelerant now grants 2 grenade charges. Scatter grenades are going to charge grenade now creates 4 more Seekers. Increase the charged Seeker damage versus combatants by 25%. They're improving the tracking versus combatants some amount. And increase the charged Seeker lifetime. So your scatter grenades will scatter better, do more damage, and seek better against combatants. Your Axiom Bolt, your charge grenade now detonates twice. Increase charge projectile damage versus combatants by 25%. Reduce the projectile speed when tracking an enemy player by 40%. Your Vortex grenades are now going to repeatedly pull enemies into it when charged. Pull against players will be reduced over time. Your Spike grenade now charges into the handheld Supernova. Your Suppressor grenade now charges into the handheld Supernova. And your Void Wall grenade, guess what? Now charges into your handheld Supernova. And finally, for Warlock Stasis, your Glacial Harvest, your Stasis Shard creation no longer has a cooldown in PvE. So you can have all the Stasis Shards you like. For the Titans, we're not getting a passive anything, but we are getting changes to Stasis. We're going to get our Howl of the Storm now grants 2 melee charges. Our Change Stasis Crystal spawn pattern, and they added 4 more crystals, now slows enemy players instead of freezing them. Our Cryoclasm is going to increase the fragment slots from 2 to 3, reduce the long slide cooldown from 4 seconds to 2 seconds, and the Tectonic Harvest Stasis Shard creation no longer has a cooldown in PvE, just like the Warlocks. For Void Unbreakable, they're going to reduce the grenade energy drain speed when holding a shield, reduce the forward movement slowdown when the shield is hit by an attack, increase the fragment slots from 2 to 3, and a blast now disorients enemies for a short time. And finally, Bastion no longer increases cooldown time in PvE. Hunters, you guys do get a new passive trait. So they're increased the passive movement speed bonus. This is now equivalent to the old Tier 10 mobility, which feels like is finally a promise that they made that they're now cashing in on. So they've increased the Hunter's default sprint speed from 8 meters a second to 8.6 meters a second. And Hunters will now have a 10% bonus to weapon equip speed. So you move faster and you equip weapons faster. Yay PvP for all the rest of us. In general, your marksman dodge now picks up nearby ammo bricks on activation and now reloads all weapons on activation. For Strand, your Suspending Slam no longer increases cooldown duration after use. Suspending enemies with Suspending Slam now gives Woven Mail, and the duration scales with the number of enemies you've suspended. Your Threaded Spectre increases fragment slots from 2 to 3. For Solar, On Your Mark gets a rescaled stack count to a maximum of 10 stacks. Precision hits give 1 stack, precision final blows give 2 stacks. Final blows at 10 stacks cure the player. And precision final blows at 10 stacks no longer give radiant. So you get cure instead of radiant when you get to those stacks. Stacks of On Your Mark now give you weapon stat. Max is 50 weapon stat at 10 stacks, still grants previous reload benefit. And your Golden Gun Deadshot, it refunds ammo to the Golden Gun final blows instead of on ignitions. Now extends super duration on final blows, energy diminishes with final blows, and your gains are reduced in PvP. And then finally for Hunters, in Stasis, your Grim Harvest, the Stasis Shard creation no longer has a cooldown in PvE, matching the Warlock on the Titan. So they did say, during the stream they did mention a few other buffs and changes they're exploring, but no details on those yet. They'll have more details in the future when they decide what they are. So yeah, Warlocks and Titans, or Warlocks and Hunters get new passive traits, and Titans, we still get to be Titans. There you go. And more Stasis things happen. So the Stasis build that Blue and Night Demon demanded I put on maybe gets a little bit better.
Yeah, might be. Might not be. That was a fun build to start off with, and it kind of did give me a little bit of relief from my Stronghold nerf. So I was like, this is fun. I can go with this, and just until I found my Sturm and Drain combination. So it was
right.
Icefall Mantles, wasn't it, with the Glacial Guard? So popping your class ability gives you the overshield, but that's been changed over time, so it works really, really well. And speccing into your
class ability just absolutely keeps that that ability up, and you can just get that huge boost to healing over and over and over. I'm looking for, as we've mentioned a couple of times now, I'm looking for the actual. Of course, it's a Plunder the Booty build, because why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
So it's one of those fun. This Busted Titan build walks through mythic content, literally. So we'll put a link in the show notes, because it's sometimes hard to find what build of his you're looking for by just looking at the pictures of the titles. But yeah, it uses the Scavenger's Fang, is the name of that shotgun?
Yes.
From Kel's Fall. And just, it's basically, you make giant icy walls everywhere, and then you destroy the icy walls, and then everything
Slayer's
dies.
Fang,
Slayer's Fang, thank you.
Yeah.
And it's great fun in Onslaught too, because you can just absolutely turn entire hallways and walls and rooms into icicles and then just destroy anything that walks through the door. So yeah, it's good fun.
It is.
Works well in Reclaim too.
Trials of Osiris is also fun as well. I went back in and played the previous week and had a bit of fun, and now with Ashen Iron it's changed a bit again. So after several weeks where the weapons were available in Trials of Osiris just all across the pool, you could just get them. They're going back to the featured weekly reward. So this week, that we're currently in this weekend, is the Ever Burning Glitz, a totally new kinetic rapid-fire auto rifle, along with the reprised Burden of Guilt, which is still a stasis adaptive fusion rifle. They're the two weapons that have entered the loot pool for this Trials, alongside Ashen Iron. It's Rusted Lands this weekend. I might see if I can get around to playing this if I finish out my Reclaim stuff on Tuesday, but who knows? Have you guys tried this season's Trials of Osiris?
No, but I want to. The weapon looks like it's a reskin of my beloved Scaithlock, so I want to try and go in and get an Ever Burning Glitz.
Ooh, let's have a look. Ever Burning Glitz.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm very curious about a kinetic rapid fire auto rifle, but yeah, I do need to know, how does it work? What does it do?
Well, the base stats for it are impact of 18, range of 31, stability of 51, handling 40, reload of 48, aim assist of 80, zoom of 16, airborne effectiveness of 25, and ammo generation of 54. Can roll with elemental honing, kinetic tremors, tap the trigger, ancillary ordnance, which is rapid elemental final blows and final blows on target affected by elemental debuffs. Periodically prepare a homing missile which is launched from your target after this weapon's next final blow. Multiple missiles can be prepared. Okay.
You said the magic words, so I'm good.
Yeah. One for All and Eye of the Storm. And you can also have Attrition Orbs, Lone Wolf, Subsistence, Dynamic Sway, Transcendent Moment, Bewildering Burst. Reloading this weapon after defeating a target causes the next hit to launch a kinetic projectile that detonates into a disorientating blast. And To the Pain. So that might be quite a good one. Bewildering Blast and Ancillary Ordnance. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's excellent. I do need to set foot. I've been debating with Trials. Is it going to be, a wasteland and only the 3 people who are playing it every week? Or is it going to be, just as bad as always? Because again, let's be honest, everybody there is better than I am anyway. But will it be slightly better because no one's playing right now? Or will it be just as bad? Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, your mileage may vary.
Yeah, I do want to step in because I am interested in this weapon. And also just doing the, I'm sure, weekly challenge eventually for going and playing it.
If you need to step in, I'd step in now because next week we have Iron Banner. And with Iron Banner, Trials of Osiris is no more at the weekends. So
yep.
They don't actually tell us that now. What they've put in the TWAB is very little to what they could tell us. Iron Banner is back next week. After a short hiatus, Iron Banner will be back for the first time during the Year of Prophecy during the week of September 16th. Lord Saladin will be back in the tower with a renewed PvP event to honour the old heroes and train the recently raised ones. So this iteration of Iron Banner is a 1-week event. So it was a 1-week event, but before that, I think not even last season or episode, it was only 1 week. But before that, it was 2 weeks, and then they changed it back to the. So we're still going to stick with the 1-week event. It's going to have its own event home, which means it gets its own reward shop, its own reward pass, gets a new emblem. They're not going to tell us what the new emblem is called, and they're not going to show us it in the TWAB. A shader, and I cannot find the shader at all in any of the databases. I found the emblem. That's not a problem to find. Weapons, again, they're not detailing the Iron Banner weapons, as you kind of questioned earlier. Are we going to be getting weapons that are in the Iron Banner loot pool, or is it going to be other weapons? Plus, we're going to be getting more to earn, as well as a renewed title to unlock and guild. Play Iron Banner to earn experience that progresses your reward pass. Complete challenges to grant even more XP. And then we get the new gear. So they do show us the reprised set of armor with the set bonuses. And I won't go into it because I do go into This Week in Destiny, which I'll put in a little bit after I've kind of ranted about Iron Banner.
Do we know what Iron Banner it's going to be? Or will it be multiple? Or is that also just a wide open question of...
That's why I'm going to rant. I'm going to have a little rant about this because...
Excellent.
It's being put back into the portal. And they've clarified it's only going to be for 1 week. Fine. You've clarified 1 week. You said it's going to be in portal. We're getting our own reward shop, its own event pass, blah, blah, blah. We're used to what the event things are now. But what you kind of haven't clarified is with, I think it was episode Heresy or Revenant, or one of those two that we had, that they split what we had on the director. So when Iron Banner comes up, Iron Banner takes over the control node. But then what they also did was they said, if you want to play a different version of Iron Banner, we will also take over the 6v6 quick play playlist node as well. So you'll have the 2 nodes. They'll both be Iron Banner, but you can go and play the 3v3, or you can play Rumble, or you can do Labs, or whatever else was kind of around. So there will be 2 Iron Banner lists. You can play the control, or you can play whatever we featured for that week, which was normally Eruption, Tribute, Fortress, and they did mention Rift, but I didn't ever see Rift come back recently. They did say it was going to come back, and they haven't mentioned it in the TWAB this week to say that, yes, we're going to be bringing it back. And they don't mention whether it's going to be Iron Banner Control taking over the control node in the portal, and there's going to be another node in the portal that says Iron Banner 6v6 Eruption or Tribute or Fortress or even Rift. We've just had Rift this past week in, I want to say on the director. So it's not going to be that. It's probably going to be something that they normally start with Eruption or Tribute. And I'm like, this is information that is useful to know. Is the portal going to have 2 separate nodes, or are you just going to select whatever you deem that we should play Iron Bannerish, or are you going to stick to, in this, back in Heresy, we split the playlist. It's going to be this, and now we're going to continue that portal. And the same with the weapons. We normally get, we have been getting a reprised weapon and a new weapon, but we're just getting a reprised weapon. It's not anything that's amazing. They say it's got interesting perks for both PvP and PvE. I'm not a hand cannon user, and I think it's really annoying that you're not giving something else Iron Banner-ish in the place. I mean, if you'd have put that reprised that scout rifle and said, okay, that was new last Iron Banner, but it's coming back again and it's going to be a tiered weapon, people might have gone back in and gone, oh, I can get a new version of that and just dismantle the other version of what I got last Iron Banner. But you're not even doing that. You're putting the same stuff that we got from the Arms Week event. So the hand cannon, the Phonotria Fera, which is the spread shot hand cannon, the ribbon-tailed trace rifle can be post-match rewards, and also maybe the submersion crossbow. But so you're saying that there's only going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 weapons in the loot pool, and then it's going to be Iron Banner armor as well in there? I don't think that's enough to pull people in. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, Iron Banner is already sort of on the way out without the light level, without the. It was sort of, the not pinnacle, but sort of the.
It was held as pinnacle, yeah. It was pinnacle, and
then it's just been sort of knocked down over time. Of, well, now you don't need this. You don't really need to wear the armor. You don't. It's not light level control. It's not. It's just another time limited event. Which again, I'm still excited to go play because I've always enjoyed Iron Banner, but it'd be nice to know what I'm playing for and what mode I'm going to be playing. Because if it's anything but Eruption, like if it's Eruption where the one you get a kill or two and then a timer starts. Again, we love our timers, and then you explode if you don't continue to get kills. It's like nobody enjoys that mode. It harms lower skill players and harms higher skill players. It's nothing's good about it. Like, give us Iron Banner control. Give me Iron Banner Rift. Give me Fortress even would be fine. Just anything but that. But just not knowing what we're going to have. And like in the past, they had done whatever sort of the weekly, in that 2-week cycle, that 1 week would be whatever the featured one is and control. And then the same one, it would be, Fortress and control, or Eruption and control for a week. So what are we going to get if it's just the 1 week? Is it just going to be control? Is it going to be, are we still going to have the choice? Just needing to know a little bit about what your plan is would be nice.
Yeah,
Bungie?
I mean, over time, the stuff that should be in the TWAB is kind of being lessened and lessened. And either they don't know or they haven't asked the question. Because if I was the, putting the TWAB together and I was trying to find out the information, I get every single little bit of information to let people know, this is your next big event that's coming up next week. And it's less than a whole future Sandbox things. It's even shorter than that long list of activity changes to the portal engrams. It's like, you haven't shown me the emblem. You haven't shown me the shader. You haven't given me any more information about what Iron Banner is going to look like in the portal. Even just give us some screenshots of what it kind of could look like. I had to go and dig and find the emblem, and I searched on light.gg. I've looked on shader trackers. I've looked at actually going into the game and looking at all the shaders, and even kind of today in Destiny and looking at the shaders that are coming. And it's like all of these shaders are in Eververse. It's all Eververse bundle packs, or it's coming with Festival of the Lost. Or it's just there was a couple that are on the reward track. But you're saying there's a shader. Where is it in the game? Show us what it looks like. It may get people interested to come back and go, oh, I like getting my Iron Banner shaders or and my emblems. But yeah, it's
right, like basic. I mean, again, we joke all the time about Bungie. Imagine Bungie telling you anything about the game, but literally, hey, this is our new weekly event. This is the event that'll be up for a week. What is it? Which one are we going to play? There's 3 or 4 different options of what it could be, and that's assuming you're not bringing back Iron Banner Mayhem or something from way back. Like, what's the event, Bungie? Like what? Like this feels like very basic information that should be available, should be knowable, and yeah, it's. I'm not asking for the world here. It feels like just to know what's coming.
So, as I said, this week in Destiny, I'm going to drop it in here before we get to the rest of the TWAB, so that you know what's happening next week with Iron Banner. What I know, and I found out all the information, I found the pictures and things, so I can tell you about the bonuses. So here it is, this week in Destiny. This is your weekly rundown for the Edge of Fate, week 10, starting on September 16th. Valor Saladin returns to the tower for the first time this season, bringing with him the Iron Banner. This is a week-long free-to-play Crucible event, which means there will be no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Your power level is disabled, meaning you can go into Iron Banner with whatever weapons and armour you would like. Iron Banner also brings with it triumphs, as well as a renewed title to unlock and guild to become an Iron Lord. This season will see the Iron Banner added to the portal, and have its own event home. Much like we had with previous events, Iron Banner will have its own exclusive reward pass. And as you play Iron Banner and complete challenges, you'll progress your ranks, unlocking an exclusive Iron Banner emblem, shader, weapons, and more. Event challenges will reward event tokens, which can be used in the Iron Banner reward shop, which will have its own exclusive gear and rewards, including holofoil weapons. For episode Heresy, Iron Banner was broken up into 2 playlists, with each one replacing an existing node on the Crucible Director. For this version, Iron Banner Control should replace the existing control node in the portal, with the Iron Banner Quick Play node in the portal possibly being the home for either Eruption, Fortress, Tribute, or Rift game mode. Ash and Iron brings with it a new emblem called Intergalactic Wisdom, and a reprised Iron Banner armor set for each class, called Iron Beryllium, with a new Armor 3.0 set bonus system. 2 pieces of armor will give you the perk Vigilant Watch. As your health gets lower, your weapons gain increased stability and handling. Weapon final blows while your shields are depleted heal you. And 4 pieces of armor will give you the perk Iron Conviction. When your shields become broken, you gain increased ammo generation, flinch resistance, and damage resistance against nearby combatants for a short time. Final blows extend this effect. Along with the new armor, completing Iron Banner matches have a chance to award a returning weapon, the Solar Adaptive Hand Cannon Finite Impactor. Also, the Solar Spreadshot Hand Cannon Venetria Fera, and the Strand Adaptive Range Trace Rifle Ribbontail can also be earned as post-match rewards. Plus, don't forget about the Stasis High Impact Frame Crossbow Submersion, which has a low chance to drop from any portal activity, including Iron Banner. As a reminder, you can still earn the Iron Banner Memento, which you can put into crafted weapons to gain access to the shader Iron Banner Keepsake, and title of Seaver's Bane. Iron Banner will run from the reset on Tuesday, September 16th to the following Tuesday's reset. The new update of Ash and Iron continues this week, as we push back against the Conductor's forces in the Plaguelands, the snow-covered destination from Destiny's Rise of Iron expansion. The 3 new Plagueland reclaim missions are Cabal's Watch, Conductor's Keep, and Fallen Bunker, with an introduction mission in the tower. The Ash and Iron update also sees the Ultimate Fireteam Ops matchmaking open this week. In the Portal Crucible Ops this week will be competitive, Iron Banner Control, Iron Banner Quick Play, and a variant of Cutting Edge, with no Trials of Osiris at the weekend. Other non-featured modes of 3v3 Dominion and 6v6 Clash can be found over on the Crucible Director. In the solo ops we have Skywatch, the Salt Mines, the Conflux, Creation, K1 Logistics, and Caldera. In the Fireteam ops we have the 3 new Reclaim missions, Cabal's Watch, Conductor's Keep, and Fallen Bunker, Battlegrounds Behemoth, and Episode Echo's Core, 3 additional strikes of Hypernet Current, Insight Terminus, and Fallen Saber, 3 expeditions from Season of Plunder, Nessus, Cosmodrome, and Europa, with a returning episode Revenant, Tomb of Elders. We also have the Strikes of Liminality, the Devil's Lair, Proving Grounds, Inverted Spire, and the Glassway, Battlegrounds Oracle, Foothold, Delve, and Conduit, Empire Hunts the Warrior, Technocrat, and Dark Priestess, Savathun Spire Offensive, Onslaught Widow's Court, and Midtown, with the Coil. In the Pinnacle Ops we have the 3 dungeon layers, Pit of Heresy Beneath the Necropolis, Duality Nightmare of Goron, and Warlord's Ruin Heaven's Vengeance. Exotic missions Presage with the Dead Man's Tale Exotic Scout Rifle being the main reward, the Season of the Haunted, and opulent weapon sets, plus the Idolium Pursuant armor set, Node Override Avalon with Excalibur Exotic Glaive being the main reward, and the Season of the Defiance weapon set, Starcrossed with the Wishkeeper Exotic Bow being the main reward, and the Season of the Wish weapon set, the Whisper with the Whisper of the Worm Exotic Sniper being the main reward, Kel's Fall with the Slayer's Fang Exotic Shotgun being the main reward, and Encore with a Choir of 1 Auto Rifle being the main reward. On Kepler, featured mission 1 this week will be the Invitation, and featured mission 2 will be Gouge. This week's challenges are Vanguard Supply Recovery 2, Fireteam Missive Discovered 2, Pinnacle Data Retrieval Part 2, Reclaim Missives Discovery 2, Iron Sharpens Iron, Eyeing Iron, and Ultimate Champion. For our legacy rotation, the Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind One features Scorn enemies and the Plague, Sigrus and Veracus. The Ascendant Challenge will be the Forfeit Shrine over in the Gardens of Vasilia. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian and the Wandering Nightmare, the Fallen Council, are both located in Archer's Line. Nightmare hunts Zydron, Servitude, Tanix, Isolation, and Scolus, Pride. The Altars of Sorrow will start this week's rotation with the Nightmare of Tanix and the Apostate Sniper. On Europa this week, Corodis the Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Runes will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Survival. Dares of Eternity Expert difficulty rounds are Vex, Cabal, and Crota. The Scatterhorn armor set and the Perfector's armor set will be available in Dares of Eternity with Weapon Set 2. Scathlock, Extraordinary Rendition, Brass Attacks, Threaded Needle, Code Duello, Imperial Needle, Far Future, Honor's Edge, Distant Terminus, Interference 6, Shepherd's Watch, and Annual Skate. The Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Arrival, Altar of Reflection's Choice, and Altar of Reflection's Pact. The Wellspring activity will start the week on Attack, with the Kinetic Bow, Feltar Diddle, and Borgon Hive Knight as the boss. The Lightfall weekly mission is No Time Left, the Partition mission will be Backdoor, and the Vex incursion will be Zephyr Concourse. In the Pale Heart, the exotic mission Dual Destiny is still available for teams of 2 Guardians, where you can farm the mission to earn as many new prismatic exotic class items as you like. The 12 Guardian Matchmade Excision mission is also available, with the Grandmaster version granting the Ergo Sum Catalyst and an Ascendant Shard. The Lost Sector rotation for this week will start with Exodus Gone 2A on the Cosmodrome, Aphelios Rest on the Dreaming City, The Quarry on the ETZ, Concealed Void on Europa, K1 Communion on the Moon, Thrillerdrome on Neptune, The Conflux and Nessus, Metamorphosis on the Throne World, and The Broken Deep in the Pale Heart. Also, with the Edge of Fate, all raids and all challenges are now available all the time, and at present there are also no featured raids or dungeons each week. The main ones available are the new raid, the Desert Perpetual, over on Kepler for tiered loot, and Dungeons Sundered Doctrine, which can be found over in the Throne World, with the exotic linear fusion rifle Finality's Ager up for grabs. The exotic mission rotator will be Node Override Avalon, with Excalibur Exotic Glaive being the main reward, and the Season of the Defiance weapon set. The exotic missions, the Whisper and Zero Hour, will also be available in the Legends tab. And that's it for the second week of Ash and Iron.
So, well, we can't tell you those things. We can tell you there's a new compound emblem, and there's a picture of it in the TWAB, and it's red and sparkles and splashes and yeah,
compy. That's very compy.
Yeah, so that's a thing. It'll be available again in October 7th when update 915 drops. If you're still playing comp and getting to Ascendant and there's enough people there. I was watching a little bit of Cammy Case because I saw him streaming the other day, and he's like, yeah, it's play a game, wait for a while, play a game, wait for a long while. So he had switched over to Control. He's like, at least I get matches. At least I can play. So if you're trying to get to Ascendant, there's an emblem you might be able to get. There's also, hey, the Bungie Bounty for Good is back. Yep, can confirm it is in the future as we read this, not in the past, like they like to do it. So yeah, good. So on the 18th of September, so next Thursday, so next TWAB day at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and then 6 p.m.
Yep, 6 p.m. for me.
British time. Yep. And sometime in the middle of the night in Australia. They're benefiting the Hispanic Heritage Month partners El Centro de la Raza, a nonprofit organization that strives to empower communities through its programs in workforce development, advocacy, culture, and much more. So there's a Bungie Bounty. They'll be doing something, playing the game somewhere.
You've got to stay tuned to the Bungie Foundation channel. Not just Bungie, the Bungie Foundation channel for more details.
Yeah. So, and they link out to, twitter.com/BungieLove, where there will be things happening, and they'll tell us more at some point, or they won't, but that's happening next Thursday.
Yeah. There's going to be a live stream, and it says see you in the Crucible. Yeah. And I'm just going to throw it out there. If it's Crucible, the majority of players should be in the Crucible event for next week, which would be Iron Banner, which you could have told us about, but hey-ho. Yeah. You may kind of just be hanging around somewhere else. Yeah, maybe on the director playing one of those director things. Right.
Yeah, so presumably they'll be playing Iron Banner, but again, there's no way to be sure, so we'll find out when that happens next week. What we are going to find out about, though, is known issues. Got a whole list of them, even.
I'm just going to say to everybody, sit back, get your drink, just find a nice, comfy chair, because Peroty's back for his player support report. There's no 2.0 Peroty. It's original OG Peroty telling you his player support report. And I'm guessing all the Bungie 2 teams tweets as well that kind of go along with it that say, we've rectified this or this is broken. It's going to be a long one. I think we better settle in for the night. I'm just going to get my pillow.
Yeah, and get your pillow, get comfy. Because, there's not a lot of known issues, but there's lots of things that they've fixed or are fixing or in the middle of fixing. So we've got a known issue. Focusing engrams at the vendor can sometimes cause the reward to drop at a lower power level than what was displayed. So what you thought you were getting, no you aren't. For armor and perks, some exotic armors are displaying an incorrect stat instead of its power level. This is a visual bug and will not affect the gear's performance, which explains why my Skull Fort was showing a 14 as opposed to the 300 whatever it was. So if you have, some piece of armor that's showing a hilariously low stat at the moment, infusing it does not work. It will not change. Basically, that armor has decided that one of its stats, that's its level, so that's what it's showing you. Bungie's aware, they're going to fix it. It still is working as intended. The piece is not at 10 or 14 or 3 or anything. It's just a visual bug, but it's going to make you very confused when you go to look at it and put it on. The Vigilant Seraph Robe's Warlock chest piece will clip into the player's point of view when aiming down sights or on some weapons. So if you want to add, want to run no HUD lock loadouts and can't see, there's a new choice for you. Let's see, the Obsidian Durasteel Cyborg Nemesis and Marauder Progeny Universal Ornaments cannot be equipped. Can't do it.
Yes,
Anyway,
so that is the
I think there's an
Star
update
Wars
about
stuff.
Yes. So and they say we're investigating an issue around those. They're still on your account. They'll be available. You just can't equip them until they fix whatever is wrong with them.
I think that's the Darth Vader set, isn't it? Darth Vader, the General Grievous, and I can't remember what the other one was on the other character.
Okay.
Because I was looking for my General Grievous.
Right, yeah, I was looking for the Darth Vader one because I was like, I know I have it.
The Marauder one, it was the Kylo Ren on the Warlock.
Okay, so if you're not finding any of those, that's why.
I was really confused.
I was like, I know I got this. I was like, I'll find it later. No, when they fix it, apparently, at some point. So for activities in Portal, we're aware of an issue where players will sometimes all respawn dead after moving to a new activity in Reclaim. And I believe they did fix that. At least I haven't run into it, and I'm pretty sure they
fixed it
for it.
That, but I've noticed other things that activities it seems to be happening in. But
so go. Don't all go at the same time to the next area. Let somebody go first to see if they make it there alive. Also, rewards earned after completing the Fallen Saber Grandmaster Conquest are going directly to the Postmaster. So hope your Postmaster isn't full. But at least they'll show up somewhere. They've identified an issue where ability cooldowns are not working as intended. And that's sort of the 22% issue with Grenade Melee we talked about that I'll have a little more detail on in a minute. And in systems, due to an issue inspecting the holofoil versions of the Folded Root and Romantic Death weapons are causing crashes on Xbox, they've temporarily disabled the holofoil versions of those weapons. They're actively pursuing a fix. They'll probably temporarily change the visuals on it until they figure out why those are causing Xboxes to crash. Now, let's go back to September 9th, where Bungie reminds us, or Destiny 2 team reminds us, please ensure you have inventory space to receive your chronologs. Those are the things where you can go to the new kiosk on the tower and pick up things from your past passes. And 19, to answer your question, no, I had nothing there to pick up. I've picked up everything on every pass available to me in the game, so I have space for my chronologs, and they will sit there in my inventory until I turn them into whatever currencies I could turn them into. They're also temporarily disabling the capture rule set for collision and competitive due to an issue that's affecting the scoring in Clash. This should fix an issue where the Clash matches were finishing with a score of 7. So it turns out first team to get to 7 wins. So they're messing with that. Again, disabling our Star Wars armor sets until they can push a fix in a future update. September 10th, they said, hey, due to an issue where the Orchestrated Performance Seasonal Challenge could not be completed in Portal activities, We have auto-completed this challenge for all players. I don't know what the orchestral performance seasonal challenge was. I meant to look.
Oh, well, you'd like that one.
But it's been auto. Is that the one that was go do things in Gambit?
Yes.
That I saw people talking about saying, "Why are you sending me to get?" I just assumed. I just assumed that was it because it's like go do this thing where again you can't because it's or wouldn't want to because it's not in the portal. Oh yeah, and on September 10th update, the holofoil visuals have been swapped to mitigate the Xbox crash, so you can see the holofoils on those weapons again. They are investigating reports of issues regarding power and progression within the portal. More details as always. We're seeing feedback from players that Graviton Spike and Spreadshot hand cannons still feel too oppressive to play against. We're investigating issues where the armor pieces, armor ornaments, emotes, and finishers have higher than intended bright dust and silver prices in the Eververse. Due to the issue we mentioned earlier, they're temporarily disabling the Sturm Exotic hand cannon in Trials of Osiris. And just pointing out that, on September 12th, so Friday, they did deploy the live update with the portal rewards and the scoring that we talked about in the TWAB. And they point you back to the TWAB to say, yeah, that one. The one we said we'd tell you when we deployed it. Yeah, we've deployed it now. Over on Reddit, Engineer, who hasn't been playing the game, piped in to say, hey guys, I was just doing some testing on something. And the boost to regen at 100 melee or grenade stat is wrong. It's about 22% less than it should be. The class ability stat, however, is working correctly. And Bungie just say, hey, thank you for crunching the numbers. We've checked and confirmed, yep, the values were unintentionally altered in the last update. They are targeting a fix for 9.1.0.2, which should be our next one. And there's, details and stats and breakdown in Reddit if you want to go over there and read that. But basically, yeah, if your melee or grenade recharge feels a little slow, it is about 22%. Armor is about 25% more bright dust and silver in Eververse. It used to be about 1,200 per piece or 6,000 per set. Now it's 1,500 or 7,500 per set. And Bungie just say, yeah, we can confirm this is a bug. Everything got more expensive in Eververse, so maybe hold off on all your Eververse purchases until they fix the pricing.
Yeah.
And apparently they caused confusion. Shocking. I'm confused. I thought the changes to Chromatic Fire and Stronghold weren't happening. Says Twisted Logic on 81 on Reddit. Destiny Toon Team says, was not able to revert for day one as this release was locked, but we are looking into getting these reverted in a future update. So you were told your strongholds were not going to be touched, Night Demon. They were touched.
They were touched. They were physically abused, and I don't think I'll ever recover.
Yeah, so the Chromatic Fire and Stronghold are getting untouched at some point in the future. They don't say when. So maybe next week? Maybe. And just more people confused saying, hey, the blog says all exotics and feature gear are starting today, but you can load in the game right now and see that it's not the case. All exotics are not featured. Destiny D2 team says, hey, sorry, we got to fix the stream was correct, and this is starting in Renegades. I guess they pushed a version of the Ash and Iron blog that said it's starting in Ash and Iron. Not the case. The feature stuff goes away in Renegades. And just this morning, they're looking into an issue causing the Disgrace Strike not to resolve, preventing the New Light Quest series at Guardian Rises from progressing. In the interim, this can be worked around by using the Skip New Light option found in the Shahan ship in the Cosmodrome. So don't play the New Light experience because you literally can't because you get stuck at the Disgrace Strike. So, yeah, good times. So those are all the things, as of this recording, that they've mentioned, fixed, pushed, patched, live updated, identified as a known issue, etc. So now that you've finished your drink, go get another drink. Because, I don't want you to be parched. It's important to be hydrated.
Oh, good.
And also, Vex have pants now. They wear pants and they do crimes. And I'm glad this artwork was featured because it made me laugh. Destiny 2 meme. Vex saying wear pants, do crimes, and putting on his jeans. Perfect. And the movie of the week was updated to a different movie of the week. Yes, had to summon 8 different buddies at one time from the one before because, it's important to watch movies to the end if you're going to feature them. That's Watch the entire movie before you feature the movie for all of the world to see.
Or stick your stamp of approval on said movie.
Right. So that's the TWAB. They'll, have more information, as always. Yeah, and they do say, we're very aware that no matter what we say here, it's what you experience when you play that matters. But know that we really value your passion for Destiny 2, and we want it to feel rewarding every single time. Again, that's the truth. Like they're working on it, and they do finish with saying thank you for your patience, D2 community team. These aren't the guys making the changes. These are the guys and gals forwarding us what the devs have built, what's ready to ship. So be nice to your community team. Be nice to your community managers. They're just passing along what they have to pass along. And we also got the big giant 9.1.0 update, which we're not going to go read in depth because it's all the things that come with Ash and Iron. So if you're interested, it's there. Yeah. I looked through it and I was like, I no. Because I can't even confidently say what in this is reflected in reality at this point, and what isn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
So let's see. We've done news. Do we have any videos for this week? Do we have any? I should say, do we have any non-moaning videos for this week?
We do have some videos this week that I've watched quite a lot of stuff, and listened quite a lot of stuff. I'm just going to go back through what I've looked at because some of them were kind of just nonsense videos and some of them weren't. So yeah, I mean, I watched Paul Tassi this week complaining, Lucky 10p complaining, Datto complaining. I can link those in the show notes if you want to join in with the complaining. A
trifecta of moaning.
We've got the full guide from Aztecross on the Ash and Iron because I went and watched that. I know you went and watched that of how to do these little things in the Plaguelands because there are a lot of they're not complicated, but it's like they could be this or they could be this. So yeah, he put together a really cool guide on how to do all the different stuff with the new reclamation missions. Cheese Forever this week is telling you that the Outbreak Perfected wasn't really nerfed, that you can still get your 10-second super, so you can go and check that one out. I've got the ultimate #1 Strand Warlock build in Ash and Iron by Llama, and this was what I put in my search because I was looking for the Sturm and Dren combinations and see if anybody else had put any builds together. And nobody else has seemed to have put any builds for the. I know it's going to be a short-lived thing, but it was like I did see one after the fact of the Worm God's Caress. I was like, well, I've already done that one. I don't need any more. But I started watching this one by Llama, and it's really, really cool with threadlings and building into your strand. So it's not with the Sturm and Drain, but it was a good PvE build for Warlocks. So go and check that one out. Vifo or VFlow put together a Destiny 1, Destiny 2 comparison of the Plaguelands. It's about 8 minutes long. It held my interest for at least 6.5 minutes, and I was like, well, I can watch the rest later. So yeah, I've got those, and then I will also put the 10-minute Vidoc for Renegades for people to check out if you haven't because it's best if you watch it rather than just have me whittle on about I'm excited about a lightsaber.
I mean, they really do show asterisk subject to change, but footage from the game as it will be. So
yeah. I mean, we had 10 minutes at the beginning of the show, me going over my new X-Wing fighter and all the different shaders. You definitely don't want me it's just a no-go area. Peroty said I'm not allowed.
Mm-mm. Once he starts, we can't stop him.
How about you? Did you watch anything? Are we happy with what I've selected this week?
I mean, I'm always happy with what you've selected, but I've also got a couple of things. One, I mean, is just Cheeses Forever video about just we've talked about the Sturm and Drang, just what it's doing, how it's doing it. You're getting 360% more damage out of it. Just so if you're going, what is this? Or if you're not currently playing, just going, well, I heard about this. What's happening? He just goes over what's happening and how it's breaking things. Also, just his QA at Bungie, the first thing I'll do, which I think you mentioned earlier as well. So Cheese Forever again, just going, hey, if you hire me for QA at Bungie, here's what I'll do. And he posted that with, hey, here's my latest crash out about the game. So just his what he would do if they hired him and gave him the reins and said, hey, help us fix this. So he's got a good list of things. Profane Gaming has, the new god roll for the Forced Memorializer, the only scout rifle that can do these fun things with kinetic tremors. And I think the Forced Memorializer is a scout rifle from Pinnacle things now. I think that's where that comes from. So yeah, it's got a fun kinetic tremor thing, which every time I see that icon, I watch the video and go, ooh, what's happening here? And then finally, Fallout has the is the new Malpace better than the Mint retrograde, which is a question I think I'd asked you in Blue and was curious about. Going, you gave me a Telesto pulse rifle, and then I have my other Strand pulse rifle. Which one's better? Which one should I use? So he goes over the damage numbers on that, and the answer is, as always, well, it depends. One's better outright, and one's better with perks. So, yeah. And then, like I said, I watched Astrocross's video just breaking down the reclaim thing just to understand what I know what I should be doing, but how can I progress this quickest? Should I be opening these chests? Are these important? So it's just nice to get the, hey, how does the activity work? Because I feel like I'm always loading into the new seasonal activities going, yeah, I understand I have to run around and shoot things, but what else should I be doing? What am I missing here? Yeah. And some of the shapes appearing in the sky, I was not picking up because I was seeing people shooting things, and I was just shooting what they were shooting, but I did not understand what or why until I got on with you two to go, oh, there's shapes over there. Now I understand. So yeah. That's what I've watched. That's what you've watched. And I think that brings us to the end, unless I'm forgetting anything.
I think it does.
So, I can't thank him directly because he had to go, for some reason, again, go be an adult and do adult things, but RenardCollant was here. Man who we spent at least a good 45 minutes trying to threaten him with a good time before we started recording. Couldn't be done. We threatened him over and over. Simply couldn't happen. And then our grenade throwers who are out there just throwing grenades, unfortunately 22% less of them. We have Golden God 1562 Noble, the man Conan from Texas, and Feral out there just tossing grenades around. Probably at Renard, probably at trains. Who knows? They're just tossing grenades around because that's what they do. We thank all of our lovely patrons who've gone to patreon.com/TTH and said, we appreciate what you do. We like hanging out with you in the Discord. We like coming on and sharing our thoughts on this lovely game that we're all deeply, deeply addicted to. So thank you for all you lovely humans, and thank you, dear listener, for joining us. Your Titans are Peroty and Night Demon. Your Warlock of the Week was RenardCollant. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Two Titans and a Hunter. We're there. If you've got thoughts, email us, twotitansandahunter@hotmail.com. Head over to the YouTube and say, hey, I have thoughts. I can type into comment boxes. Leave comments there. On, the 801 video, the Eververse goods, why the prices have gone up, what we think next week's going to be, what Iron Banner will we be playing. There's no way to know. We're all going to find out together. All the show notes, all the links we talk about, the sites we link to, all the stuff we talk about, twotitansandahunter.com, they're there in the show notes. Or hopefully your lovely podcast player just has a little place for notes, and all the links and information are right there. If you want to join our Patreon, patreon.com/TTH. For a more casual encounter, coffee.com/twotitansandahunter. And as promised, September is upon us. And there was streaming at twitch.tv/twotitansandahunter. So if you haven't gone over there and hit subscribe, you should do that. Because Iron Banner is soon. And the top Iron Banner player in all of the UK will be playing it as always. So go there, watch the stream, hang out, and we're all here to have a good time. So thank you for joining us. Night Demon, I'll see you in Iron Banner. Tell the people goodbye.
Goodbye.
Two Titans and a Hunter, a Destiny 2 podcast.
Hey guys, I hate to spoil the fun, but I actually
you're going to spoil it.
I have to.
No, you signed up. You signed up for this. You have to stay to the end.
Doctor's appointment. So
no, she can wait. It's a Saturday. You don't have doctors on Saturdays. That's it.
No teams, no doctors. Just say, listen, just play Destiny. That will solve all of your ills.
Yeah.
I wish I could, but we do have but it's been great fun, and I've enjoyed it.
Fair enough.
A pleasure.
Thank you very much for joining us.
And remember, Bungie, more cat things in Eververse.
Oh.
Yep. Not enough cats.
Not enough cats.
The people demand their cats.